All right. Here we go on a Monday evening. The second show of the week, Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night, the Hump Day edition. Slick Talk on a Wednesday evening, like I stated before. Hello, 414 Stand Up. What it do? My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, a.k.a. the Negro Whisperer, also known in some circles as the world-class smartass. What's going on, Milwaukee? How y'all doing this evening? We are halfway through the week, almost to the weekend. I know these weeks fly past. You lay down, you close your eyes, you open them up again. It's Saturday morning. So it's Wednesday evening tonight. So we're going to talk a lot of stuff tonight about a lot of different things. So I hope that you hear something that encaptures you or that makes you pay attention. Hopefully you'll be informed or enlightened or empowered, or you'll feel empowered. Either way it go, we got a phone number attached to the show. It's 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131, and my chat room is always popping. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The show is on the air. Outlaw Radio, like I said, the Hump Day edition. All I ask is that you share the show and let people know it's going down once again. So if you want to join in, you can call us or you can get in the chat room. People always ask me, in terms of doing a podcast, because nowadays everybody has a platform of some sort. And they ask me all the time, well, what is your podcast about? And I tell them this is a foundational Black American platform in which we try our best to discuss things that are important to foundational Black Americans. Yes, I'm a delineator. I am a very, very proud man of color. I'm a foundational Black American. I'm a descendant of field Negroes from the dirty. My family, unfortunately, at one time was victimized by the slave trade, but we have since overcome that, right? So that is what I represent. I'm very proud to say that I'm a foundational Black American. It is not some club. It's not a website. It's not something that's meant to be divisive. It's actually something that's based on your lineage. So if you can trace your family back to those Black people that came here north from the South, or whichever place that they decided to go during the Great Migration, then you are a foundational Black American as well. So congratulations. Shout out to you. It's what we do on Mondays and Wednesdays, man. Like I said, I'm here and I have a conversation with my people. We try to create this space where Black people can have important conversations about important things without the top blowing off and ending up in some sort of violent calamity, because a lot of people don't believe that we have the ability to communicate with each other effectively. So, this is one of those platforms that does that. So you'll notice as we go along and people start to call in the chat room, starts to jump off, that this is a place where Black people can talk about or to us, because I think everybody talks about us, but nobody ever talks to us, right? In particular, Black men, right? Like, we are a lot of times ostracized and alienated, and people just, make all these assumptions about Black men. So, this is a place where all of those things will be laid out, and we'll be able to do this with some class and some sophistication. Ace Cooley in my chat room, he said, "What's cracking, Outlaws? What's going on, Ace? How you doing tonight, man? Let me know if my audio is on deck, man. Looking forward for the people to join into the conversation tonight." We know that this has been a very, very crazy, erratic week in terms of the news cycle with our gubernatorial election that's coming up, and so there's been some back and forth and some ins and outs and some ups and downs and some roundabouts, right? A lot of slick talk, like I say. But today's news is actually kind of funny, depending on where you're standing at. We just saw that now they're saying a Twitter or an X account from I guess a decade and a half ago, almost 15 years ago, in the name of DC Crowley, under the name Dirk McGurk. Okay, Dirk McGurk, not Dirt McGurk like Old Dirty Bastard, but Dirk McGurk. Came out, and there's a bunch of tough talk and a bunch of crazy stuff in there, some profanity laced sentiments and some anti-LGBT sentiments in there, and some stuff about not dating white women and all kinds of stuff. Now, he didn't write it. but these are posts that's on the page that he's been linked to, right? Like, so I guess if you want to just make up something to get on the brother about, like, it's that's that's something that you could do. It's just silly, man. It's just silly. There's also been some polling that's been going on, so we're going to talk about that as well. Ace said my audio is on 10. Thank you, Ace. I appreciate that. I see you, Brendan Hayes. Hey, man, if you're not in the People's News Network, my Facebook group, you need to go and join. It is a tremendous group for information. Brendan Hayes is one of my admins, or at least I invited him to be. He's also one of the top contributors. He puts a lot of different things in there in terms of other platforms and podcasts and just black news. Like, I just really feel like we should always keep black news, in circulation and try to be accurate so that you won't be falling victim to misinformation in the mainstream media, which always falls on his face in their attempt to try and report on us. Erica Hunt, I see you, Erica. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Glad to have you here. I know you. Erica gets pissed with us sometimes. We're cavemen over here, so Erica gets mad at me, man. She gets mad at the show. So I'm glad Erica's here. I'm glad everybody's here. I'm always appreciative of people that are here. But since we're talking about the gubernatorial election, I see now that Josh Brennan, he's also running under everybody's running under the Democratic banner, right? Josh Brennan has come out and he's kind of went after people. He has a commercial where he's going after Hong, saying she can't win an election, saying DC dropped out. So, okay. So now he's back and saying Mandela already lost a statewide election. So, and he is, I guess, the godson of Mayor Tom Barrett. And he was at one point one of Tommy Thompson's staff members, I guess. So it's, so he's running. So now he's saying he's the most electable candidate, the one who, and they all say that anyways. I'm the one that can do it. I can fix it. So it's crazy to see him out with the commercials now. I see you, Ernest, in the chat room. He said, well, that means Ewok's world, just in case y'all didn't know. That's an emoji of a globe. Ace Cooley said, oh, he's human, as the old saying goes. If you can find shit on him, then if you can't find shit on him, then make some up. Well, you're definitely reaching, but this is the world we live in with social media. And there may be, I don't care who you are, myself included, you probably can go back 9, 10, 15 years and find something crazy that all of us have said or posted at one point. I mean, I've been doing this for 14 years, so I'm sure you can go back and find some shows where I said some crazy stuff, right? And people will be like, whoa, you said that? Like, yeah. And mine's is video, right? So I can't say, well, I didn't say it or it wasn't me. It's on tape, right? But people change over time. And if we're talking 15 years ago, I mean, I'm pretty sure this brother's grown a lot and matured in terms of who he is and what he stands for now. He's a father now. He's a leader in the community. He's a county executive. So, just to try hard. I tell a try hard to try harder, right? Keep hating. And it's probably going to be a lot more dirt kicked up on some of these candidates as we move along. I'm pretty sure this ain't the end of it. Who's this Mama Jenkins in the chat room? How you doing, Mama Jenkins? She said, good evening, my outlaw family. We're still living in this decayed city and murders are among us daily. It's like digestion, one a day vitamins. She said, did you find out that you don't have to write in DC name because it's still on the ballot? I did see that. And I think even when he had withdrawn, it was still on the ballot. I did see somebody say that. So, hey, man, let them hate, right? Let this race, man, this politics, man. Politics is such a dirty business. Good Lord, politics is dirty, man. It makes me glad that I'm not a politician, right? And I get it. The money and the influence and the power and all that kind of thing, or the alleged power is just, I don't know that it's worth it for some of the garbage that you got to go through and put up with people always trying to find something, some dirt on you. But I don't know, y'all. We looked at these polls and Hong is still in the lead. Mandela's behind her. I believe DC is third. There's 45% that they are reporting Undecided. 45% of the voters they polled said they're undecided. So if you're going to find some dirt to put on someone, I guess this would be the time to do it. If you're going to make up something or you're going to try and kick somebody back out, try to get them out the election, now would be the time to do it. So we can expect to see some more stuff coming down the pipe. I know there's a lot of Republicans that are just sitting there watching this, eating popcorn, and they're very, very happy that there's so much confusion on the Democratic side. And they are very, very anxious about Tom Tiffany. They are looking forward to Tom Tiffany to the election because they're looking forward to voting for him so he can be the next Republican governor of our state. So we'll see. We'll see. Hey, there's some incentive to vote. Now I know a lot of us, my people, our voter turnout is typically low, but for a gubernatorial election, a lot of us kind of feel like, with these white people here in this 86% state, 86% white state, I should say, are going to be the ones who decide this, who determine who the governor is. But there's some incentive for us to get out and vote, as there always is. But definitely let's get out to vote because we don't want and once again, I'm nonpartisan. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. But I just don't want to see a Republican governor in our state. I'm not happy with the way that the Republicans are operating right now, so I don't want to see one in Madison. The last one we had, Skippy Walker, I don't know. Somebody did something bad to him in Milwaukee because he sure had it in for us. Erica said DC on the ballot. Yes, he is. She said people don't understand how hard this type of work is. I think that's what she's saying. Carrie Walker, she says, hello. How you doing, Carrie? Welcome aboard, y'all. Welcome aboard, y'all. Please share the show. Share the show. Let people know Outlaw Radio is going down. Fact checker will be along. He's pressed for work. The life of an entrepreneur. This is what we have. So everything will be everything as the show moves along. I am once again looking for people to call in because this has been some very interesting conversations that I've had with people lately about this election and how they feel. I'm always interested in knowing how the voters feel. My ear is always to the street. I always want to know how the people feel about these things, because a lot of times we can turn on the television, we can go on social media or go on YouTube, and you hear every opinion, you hear what everybody thinks, but you never get to hear how the people where the power is supposed to be at, you never get to feel or hear how they feel about these things. So once again, 262-202-5131. You can call up. Let's talk about it on a Wednesday evening. Let's get engaged in some slick talk here on Outlaw Radio with your boy. Now, I seen something else that caught my eye. This ain't politics, and I'm always looking forward to talking about something that's not politically based, because politics just can drag on forever, and it's just like a lot of times socioeconomic things need to be discussed, but the political conversation will dominate my show, which I don't like. But one Charleston White, I don't know how you all define him. Some people say he's a comedian. Some people say he's an influencer. It's a content creator. I just know for the last couple years, 2-3 years or so, he's been a prominent figure, especially on YouTube, saying and doing the most, being outrageous, being disrespectful. And supposedly there's another side to him in which he is a person who has worked very, very diligently with his community and with the young people in his community. But I guess the way he tells it is that this is a character that he plays. Okay. So the latest is that now he's from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, I guess. And one of the things that he's been very critical of is rap music and rappers, gang members. We've seen a whole movement of gang members and people, street guys coming out on YouTube, getting money for interviews and telling their stories. And he's come on and just disrespected almost everybody that I can think of, including black women and black people in general. And we just seen his antics with the Carmelo Anthony thing with the parents, and he was selling the watermelon felon t-shirts and this kind of stuff. But one of the original beefs that he had was with Jay Prince and the Rap-A-Lot family, which now has, I guess, evolved into what they call mob ties. I guess this is the younger generation of Rap-A-Lot. And so he went to Houston recently. And I guess somebody took a shot at him. So he followed that up by being on the internet, being more disrespectful towards James Prince and just saying more crazy stuff. And what I can't understand is when you put so much negativity out, when you talk so much trash to someone, shouldn't you be expecting some sort of retaliation? Shouldn't you be expecting? I mean, I guess nowadays in this world we live in now, where everything is about this internet, and you can jump on social media and be a killer. I call them mouse pad mobsters, keyboard killers. But I'm from a time when if you said somebody's name in front of a certain amount of people or a certain group of people, or if you said it to a media outlet, or you had to see that man. You had to see that man face to face. I know things have changed, but should he not expect for someone when he goes to Houston to do something or try to do something to him? A lot of times when I look at Charleston White, I just say, you know what? This is not going to end well. This is not going to end well. Now, the thing is, he is admittedly a person who will call the police on you. I think for the better part of the last 4 or 5 years, he's probably been trying to bait Jay Prince into, some sort of movement against him so that he can, alert law enforcement officers. Right. I guess that's what in his mind, rappers and gang members and these kinds of people have done irreparable damage to the community. So I guess he figures that he wants these people to take a fall, and the community will be better off. Listen, I think James Prince's rise to fame, I can't speak to his criminal initiatives, but I think if he ever was a criminal, the way he's kind of changed it around and become a businessman. I was a tremendous fan of Rap-A-Lot music in the 90s. If you know Ghetto Boy, Scarface, and a bunch of others. And he's an entrepreneur now, as far as they can tell. I'm pretty sure if there was anything there, the feds would have dug it up. But so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Charleston White, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand his methodology. I'm also not in support of some of the bottom line disrespectful things this man is saying to the brother. Just, it's just crazy. I should play one of the videos. I just don't want to give it no light because I'm just, respect is all we have, right? We got to respect each other. If you're going to be a type of person that's going to be disrespectful, especially to someone else, I'm probably not going to be around you because I never know when that get back is going to come. And I don't want to be there when it happens to you because God forbid it might hit me. Earl Henning in the chat room, he says, what it do, my brothers and sisters? Love us. Fuck Donald Trump and his friends who think they own America. Mama Jenkins said, I'm going to say this, and yes, I'm a voter, but this governor race is a disgrace. Just wondering how will the candidates that do not make the primary, who will they back? Erica Hunt said the world is so messed up. It's messed up, man, Erica. It's messed up. Mama Jenkins, that's a good question because if DC doesn't make it out the primary, David Crowley, and if Mandela doesn't make it out the primary, then what do they do? Who do they turn around and endorse? Because they're going to be asked to endorse someone, but then what's next for them? Is it a stain on your brand to go into an election like this and lose? Or how do you? I would love to see Mandela return to the community and start working because I'm tired of people doubting his commitment to us and saying he ain't done nothing, he ain't done nothing. I'd love to see him return to the community and do some things. And really work on a grassroots level with the people. Get on the front line with the people for some stuff. I would love to see him do that. And Brother DC, I'd love to see him continue to develop his leadership skills. I personally would love to see him run for mayor. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I think he'd be a great mayor. I know I've spoken with him before. Shout out to DC, friend of the show. He told me a long time ago he didn't want to be the mayor. He wanted to be the governor. In my mind, I was thinking, I'd love to see you run for mayor, brother. I think he'd be a shoe-in in terms of a legitimate candidate to be the mayor of Milwaukee. And because the one we have right now, our incumbent mayor is really not making a lot of headway in terms of improving the quality of life in the city. The city is, they gave themselves props about the violence is decreasing and murder, homicide is down and all this kind of stuff. And all I've seen for the last week or so is murder. People getting murdered, killed. 44-year-old murdered this morning. I'll talk about the young lady. One of the craziest, most stupid things I've seen in a very long time. We'll talk about in a second. Mama Jenkins said this guy hates animals. He pepper sprayed a cat. He's out. He's a nut. Who pepper sprayed the cat, Mama Jenkins? Who pepper sprayed the cat? Now, I missed that one. But I was looking at this lady. Her name is Cosetta Burrell. She's 33 years old. Her son, I guess, was out selling water. You know, you see the young brothers out selling water in the street on the hot days. And I guess he got into it with a 12-year-old about the turf or where they were selling water at. She gets in her car with some young men, I guess some young people. She's driving around. She shoots the 12-year-old. And then ends up on a high-speed chase with minors in the car. Okay. So she's been arrested. You see things like this and you say, what the hell? She shot a 12-year-old over an argument that he had with her son over selling water. Yes, I said selling water. This is what she's 33 years old. God forbid she ever get out of jail. If any of her family is listening, I'm sorry. I don't like to kick anybody while they're down, but this is some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen in my life. Like, how stupid is she? And to to lead the deputies on the chase with some minors in the car. Like, come on, man. Like, is this what is this? Lead in the water? Like, I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. This is crazy. She's talking about Mama Jenkins talking about Charleston White because he pepper sprayed a cat. He is, he's a very, I don't know, he's a nutty buddy, man. Like, if you listen to him talk, like, I'm just like, oftentimes when he talks, it's just off the wall. Like, he says a lot of crazy things. I know that there are people who feel like in order to get your attention, they have to say something crazy or they have to behave in a certain way. It's like a small child who wants your attention. So they're going to act out. They're going to do something crazy so you can pay attention to them. I just don't understand people who move in that fashion. And I never have. And especially when it comes to saying things like some of the things I've heard this dude say about black women and black people in general. It's just like we'll give you some attention without you saying all of this kind of stuff. So I don't know how this is going to end, right? Like, we've seen, we as hip hop fans have seen a lot of, slick talk in the past and a lot of disrespect and somebody behaving in a certain way. And it almost always comes back to bite them in the ass. So I don't wish anything upon Charleston White, but I feel like he's setting himself up to the point where when something does happen, everybody's going to pretty much be like, oh, well, that's what you get, right? Like, this is what you had coming to you. So it's crazy. Let me see. Kerry Walker said, I saw a boy laying on a rock shot today on 85th above Brown Deer, and the owner of the sales store was shot 3 times in the head on Appleton and Congress today. Yeah, in the smoke shop, they said that this 44-year-old was shot 3 times in the head. Well, I know he was shot in the head. I didn't know it was 3 times, but yeah, so all of these anti-violence initiatives, where they had launched them, what was the latest one they launched? Destined for great, to be great or something like that. Like, can we get motion with this stuff? Or are we just going to see blood flowing in the streets for the rest of the summer? I mean, I was hopeful. I was optimistic when I seen the news. It was like, okay, that's good. We're trending in the right direction. But it's right now, it seems like it's coming off the rails. Kerry says, is Crowley coming in because they don't think Mandela has enough popularity? You know what? I don't know exactly what the issue was with the Democrats, why they chose to not throw their support behind Brother Mandela and shifted to DC. I don't know. So I'd be the wrong person to ask. I know that they said at one point they said he had not been polling well, but now we see today that he's right behind. He's closer to Hung than David Crowley is. She's in the lead. She's a Democratic socialist, which carries a lot of weight because this is kind of like the latest fad in politics. You see what's going on in New York. People want to take part in that. They want that to come to their cities. So, but I don't know what it was, Kerry. I don't know why, because like I said, DC had withdrawn. He had withdrawn from the race. Mandela was still in the race, who is also a Democrat. I thought the most smart thing to do would be to turn to Mandela and say, yo, even with the governor, Mandela's a former lieutenant governor of the state. And Tony Evers said no. They said he was one of the biggest advocates for DC to get back in, and he then gave him an endorsement. So I don't know. If somebody out there knows better than me, and I'm not hearsay, but factual goings on, I'm not a Democrat. Like I said, I don't know what the whispers is in the party. I'm nonpartisan. I believe in people over parties all day, every day. And I refuse to make my mind up about a situation before I get all of the information. So I'm not really with the partisan politics, right? I don't believe in groupthink. I'm not a follower. I need to be able to make decisions myself. So, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if you got more information, please hit me up and let me know. This is Tony OTW, Tony on the way. Is that what that stands for? Said we are all doomed. We're all doomed. Are we doomed because of the gubernatorial election, or are we doomed because of what's happening in DC with our president? Why are we doomed? Why are we doomed, Tony? Let me know. Expand on that. That's a powerful statement. 262-202-5131. Phone number on the bottom of the screen, along with the Cash App. On a Wednesday evening, it's Outlaw Radio, Slick Talk. I am Kevin Barnes, the host of Outlaw Radio. On here conversing with my Outlaw family, as we often do on Mondays and Wednesdays. So like I said, Hong is leading right now on the Democrat side, but they said 45% of voters that they've polled are undecided. So what does that say? What does that say? How I think a lot of people are just plain confused right now. I think a lot of people are just like, I just think a lot of people right now, people are already disillusioned with politics in general, especially when they see what's happened with our president in the federal elections. But I think this even adds more fuel to the fire. People just saying this shit makes no sense, and this is why a lot of people are going to say this is why I don't even vote. I know a lot of my people are going to say this is why I don't vote. This is why I don't participate, because it's all stupid and they're going to do what they want to do anyways. It's not about people. It's about money, right? So, and there's some fact to that to a certain extent, but I think we still have to vote. I think it's a very important thing. We still have to make our voices heard and our opinions be known. I just encourage people to be informed and know what you're voting for, and don't vote against your own interests. Vote in terms of your best interests, right? And some people say, hey, that's why they say I voted for Trump, because they thought what he was going to do for the economy would be positive, or if they were wealthy, or they had a little money, they wanted to protect their money. So that's what drove them to vote in that direction. Now, do I agree with it? Absolutely not, because I think Trump has shown to be a very, 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 very poor president. Just his personality, his demeanor, the way he carries himself is very unsettling, right? Like we got this whole thing going on over in Iran, which is just right now a cluster, if you know what I'm saying. And American soldiers are losing their lives. They're over there fighting. Trump's kids are chilling at soccer games, right? Like, and what is this even about, right? You're supposed to be some nuclear weapons. You went over there because you wanted to assist Israel. What is this about, right? Like, what? Come on, like, this is just very silly. Said yes, it's Tony on the way. Okay. And Tony says, I think a lot of people are in survival mode, and there's an increase in crime and violence. I agree with you, Tony. We talk about this on Outlaw Radio a lot. In terms of where people's mind state is right now. And I do believe that a lot of people are in survival mode. And so it's something else that prevents them from, exercising a voice in politics. It's more like, yo, I got other stuff. I got bigger fish to fry. I don't care about these politicians fighting over titles and offices and, entitlement and all this kind of stuff. So you are correct. A lot of people are in survival mode in Milwaukee. This is why I have issues with our current mayor, is because I don't get from him any kind of inkling of economic development plan, especially in the Black community. And I think what's really a big thorn in the side of black people in Milwaukee is poverty, right? We're talking about 40% of the black people who live in this city live below the poverty line. And our median income is already low. And so to be poor here is to be extra poor. You're already living in a place where the money ain't really flowing. But to be poor in that pool is damaging. So it's not, when you see the crime, when you see the desperation, when you see people doing all kinds of wild, crazy things, I think that it has a lot to do with poverty. Okay. And you could disagree with me, that's fine. People disagree with me all the time, right? It's part of what we do. But I believe that our city should take it up on its back, take it up on its shoulders to implement some anti-poverty initiatives and some economic development. And I think you'll see crime go down then. That's just my personal perspective, because like I always tell people, I was born and raised in this city during a time when black people here had the highest standard of living in the country, but jobs were plentiful. If you look at the disappearance of the jobs via the industrial structure, you see crime rise dramatically, drastically. You see crime go up in this city. You see the city it starts to disintegrate and deteriorate into the state that it's in right now. So I think poverty is something we really have to really take a real strong look at and start doing something about it. And for a lot of us, it's generational. It's generational. There are a lot of people who are third, fourth generation poor families. They're just, going down into public housing. I worked in the housing authority, and there were a lot of people who I spoke with as a job coach down there, trying to encourage people to get jobs and try and empower themselves so they can move out. And a lot of them would tell me, yeah, I've been here my whole life. I'm 50 years old. My grandmother has lived here for 50, 60 years. Like, she raised all my aunties, my uncles, my mom, my dad. So there's generational poverty in this city as well. And there has to be something done about that as well. Dion is in the chat room. Dion, the YouTube page is up. It should be. It should be live on YouTube as well right now. So if you're checking for that. Tony said this is the current state across America, especially in every major city, especially in every city where we are. Most of the black communities in America have almost the same problems. Like, so you could look at Milwaukee and say, well, this is one of the worst ones because we got the Kia boys and we got this, that, and the third. But I'm sure if you go to any city any major city in the U.S., go to the black community, they're going to have something. It may have a unique name. It may have a unique title. It might be a specific group, but they're going to have some issue, and it's going to be similar to what we got going on. So A says you see a lot of white people committing a lot of crime as well. Yeah, I mean, are we under the illusion that white people aren't poor? There are no poor white people. There's a lot of poor white people in this country. Regardless of what people say, white people get more welfare benefits than black people. There's more white welfare recipients than there are black people on welfare right now. So, and you could say whatever is the reason why, but they want us to be the poster children for that. But it's something that they are involved in as well. That's why when they always talk about entitlement programs, and then they look into their own space and say, oh, well, I get that too. When Trump started saying what he was going to take, and then it hit Medicaid and it started hitting the veterans, you had a lot of people who voted for him that realized they getting screwed too. They didn't know it. They were sitting back laughing. They didn't think it would come their way. Earl Henning said they are doing that on purpose, so that will help them keep jobs up north. That is my theory on the conflict of interest in terms of really helping Milwaukee. Okay, Earl. And we've spoken on that before. Amaranti Yoshi, my niece, how you doing out in North Carolina? She said, is it gonna get better, or are we just doomed forever? Well, I'm the type of person that I feel like you got to keep fighting, right? Like you don't have a choice. You have to keep fighting. You can't give up. You can't get so overwhelmed with pessimism and negativity where you just kind of throw the towel in. Hopefully it will get better. I don't think we're just doomed forever, okay? And I hope we're not, because I have two beautiful children that I want to be able to move towards some positivity in their lives. So I hope that in the future things get better, right? I like to look back at when my mom and my dad were young and they were looking around saying, man, this is just this is horrible. And I like to think, since they were growing up for us, some things did get better. I know in terms of opportunity for us as black people, some things did get better. So, you know, I'm hoping. I'm hoping, niece. I hope. You just keep on fighting. That's all I can tell you. Keep on trying to live with some integrity and be the best person you could be and hope for the best. That's the way life goes. Ace in the chat room says, shit, keeping it 100, we damn near at the bottom of the welfare line because of the Middle Easterners and Hispanics, and the Asians are burning that shit up. Ace does not like immigration. He does not like immigrants. Amaranti says, seemed like the 90s was better. Look, the 90s was a beautiful time. I'm one of those, listen, that was my year. That's my youth, right? The 90s. Teenage to early 20s. And it was a great time. It was a lot of great things going on, but there was some struggle there too. Especially considering the fact that these were still some of the last years of the crack epidemic, right? I like to say the crack epidemic didn't subside until 1995, and it didn't go away overnight. It just kind of started to phase out slowly to what it is now. It's still not totally gone. But the 90s were some good times. I mean, you know, maybe it's because I was young. And I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. I didn't have children. I didn't have a family. I was, you know, going to college, you know, doing my thing, high school, college, hanging out in the neighborhood. Culturally, I think it was a better time for us. I think we as black people felt a whole lot better about ourselves in the 90s. I think the statement of our culture and how relevant our culture is, and I'm talking about music, art, movies, television, whatever have you. I think it was a way better time for us. I think we put a lot more initiative into living out loud in terms of our culture in the 90s than we do now. And I think the spirit of black people in terms of black solidarity was stronger in the 90s. We just don't see that now. We don't see it now. It doesn't, like, I don't know how many black people actually cherish being black nowadays. I don't know if it's as important to some people as it once was, right? Tony says the more people don't care, the more we are doomed. Yeah, when people start to give up, you're definitely in trouble. Says we have more people who want to be free strippers online than want to be professionals. There's a lot of stripping going on online, ain't it? It's a lot going on, right? Like the standard, boy. I see people doing stuff online now. You know it's just for likes. You know it's just for clicks. You know it's just for followers. And it's like, yo, God, really? Like I'm all day long. I'm looking at we all are surfing the internet, and you seeing a bunch of crazy things, and you saying, "Wow, you really this what you're doing on the internet?" It's crazy. It's a crazy time. Ace says, "I don't dislike the immigrants. I just tell the truth about them." Okay, Ace, I hear you. I hear you. Carrie said, "I'm starting to not like them motherfuckers either. They won't stay. They won't stay their dumb ass out of FBA business." Siding with them racists. Where the fuck Ice at? Carrie. Strong words. A lot of people have issues with FBA right now. You know, there's a lot of black people who got issues with FBA, right? And in my opinion, it wasn't something that was meant to be divisive, but it has become divisive. I don't understand why. I guess because people don't really look into what makes you a foundational black American, or what would lead you to say you believe that you are a foundational black American. It's one of those things where labels and titles, and it's almost like gangs, and what neighborhood you from, what block you from. But it's something that has become sort of divisive. And there's a lot of black people who swear against it. Why? I'm not totally sure. Okay. But I think it may have something to do with the fact that every now and then, you know, every couple years, there's a new group, there's a new, you know, a new slogan, you know, like Black Lives Matter. And that was pretty much a debacle. But the statement itself, Black Lives Matter, is very true. Black lives do matter. The organization wasn't something that was beneficial or run by us. And a lot of people feel like it was a movement that was hijacked by LGBTQ. And that's pretty much what it became about. It's about kind of sliding or consolidating what the gay people need, or gay individuals who are gay, what they needed or what they wanted to, you know, and it just became more about them than it was about the people. And I mean foundational black Americans. Orlando, what it do, man? What's going on, Orlando Owens? He says, family, what's going on with you, Orlando? How you doing tonight, man? 262-202-5131 is the number you can call if you want to get in here. You got something you want to drop in here. You want to drop jewels. Got somebody you want to shout out. You got an event you want to promote, something you want that's positive. Hell, call in. Let us know. Talk to us. We see now that the Nolan Wells autopsy has come back. And I was watching. I put some video in the People's News Network. And so what we've seen now is there hasn't been any definitive proof that there was foul play, but there also has been a statement made that they won't rule it out. The medical examiners are saying they won't rule it out. And there's some talk about some discoloration on his neck, saying that there may have been a neck injury there. So, you know, still waiting on the details, y'all. I know y'all ready to ride. People ready to ride for Nolan Wells. We're still waiting on the details to see what this is all about, to see what happened to this young brother who lost his life. And we don't necessarily know how he lost his life, but everybody's kind of eager to learn. There's some more examinations that will be done. I see a lot of celebrities donating money for private medical examinations, but we'll see. There's also some things about some of the throat. I guess they want to see if there's any damage to his throat, but it was removed in a prior autopsy. So we have to wait to see what's coming down the pipe. Kerry Walker says if they would do their history and understand where they came from, it wouldn't hate on us so much. Well, that's what I'm saying. The delineation movement is about lineage. So you might hate on it, and then you find out that your mom and your dad and your grandparents are from a certain place. And when you do your research on who is in your family, you see that there are no Hispanics, there's no white people, there's no Asians, there's no Indians, there's no Haitians, there's no Jamaicans. That there's been, all Negro on the census all the way back as far as you can go. And you say, well, goddamn, I guess I'm foundational Black American too. You are. So instead of really being real aggressive on trying to talk against it, maybe you need to go and do some research and figure out where your people come from. Earl Henning said they mom and dad come from, he didn't finish the statement. This is Tony on the way. He says, do you remember when being a stripper was being sexually free? Bring back the closet freaks. Overly sexual behavior is unattractive. It depends on who you are. Obviously, there's an audience for it. People go on OnlyFans and make millions. There's a lot of people who, who find it attractive. When you got young ladies who can go on the internet and strip and say, hey, I made $2 million off of this, or I got millions of followers and it's paying my bills. Can't say it's unattractive to everybody. It might be unattractive to you. That's why they say keep scrolling if you don't like it. Kerry Walker said these black wannabes and pick-me's are just as bad. Earl Henning says immigrants. And Tony said just watched the Nancy Grace about Wells. Okay, I didn't see Nancy Grace talking about Nolan Wells. Ace, let me read this and get through my chat room and get to my phone line. Ace says the only motherfuckers that has issues with us delineating is the Dr. Umar scamming ass Pan-Africanist. Okay. Talk about Pan-Africanism on the line right now. Kerry Walker Jones said that white girl uncle or cousin is on the run. He was seen fighting with Nolan in the water. Okay. Is that what's on here? Is that the latest development? All right, I got a call on the line. I got Orlando on the line. Orlando, make sure you got your device turned down and you got everything quiet in the background. What's going on with you tonight?
What's going on, brother? I ain't gonna be long. I'm about to come back on in a minute and ahead to get that strong 45 in for a quick minute. Didn't know, if you cover anything politically yet this evening.
Well, I started out talking about Dirk McGurk. And you told me it was Dirt McGirt. It's not Dirt McGirt from Old Dirty Bastard fame. It's Dirk McGurk is what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's Dirk McGurk. I put the story, the Journal Sentinel reported on it, and I put it in the People's News Network. So that story is actually in there right now. So it's Dirk McGurk.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going. I don't know if it really bothers anybody. I don't know, man. I think this is a very strange primary. Definitely going down in history, maybe for the wrong reason. Those polling had some a story behind the polling that came out today. I think what is consistent is that Ms. Hung is consistently in the lead.
Exactly.
That's the one takeaway that I don't quite understand, and I don't know where the Democratic clearly the Democratic Party is saying some things that they're not happy with the current structure or the current leadership of how Democrats govern and whatever. But they're this thing. I don't know. I think it was an election held last night that the DSA person lost. But it's going to be, state by state, I think, area by area. I don't know if Wisconsin, as, the progressive beacon that, the history book says about Wisconsin, are they progressive enough to vote in a Democrat socialist for governor? I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings behind this if, you always want to see parties come together after a grueling primary. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think this is just getting stranger and stranger. Whoever released these things about David, I'm like, who in this group of people has had access to this X account that is ghostwriting under David's handle? And why does it come out now? Why didn't it come out when he was running for county executive? It's a strange thing that this is really strange on this kind of breaks out after he launches his relaunch of him running for governor. Is this very strange that you just wonder like who leaked this and why, who's angry? Maybe there's something. Some say Mandela, he gonna have something in his closet. It's gonna drop, but I can't foresee that happening because you would think that between being the lieutenant governor and being the county executive, they've been vetted from sundown to sun up. Like their whole life has been on stage. They've been vetted. So I just don't know how this doesn't come out in the vetting of David when he ran for county executive. And if it's a thing, it sounds to me a lot of this stuff came up when he was single. From the tone of some of the posts, the page is still active. It's crazy. But it's always the doggone burner accounts, Kev, that get people in trouble. The burner. People get loose and get wild on the burner accounts because.
Okay, Orlando's call drop? He went out. Orlando, your call I don't know, your sound went out. So this burner account is a name on X, which we know we still say Twitter, but it's Dirt McGurk. And I just want to read off some of the comments that were on this Twitter page. Says at one point, a post tweeted out, it's DC, aka David, better known as Dirty or Black Ass Dude. In 2010, it posted, confession, I've never boinked a white woman. Is that bad? Another post said, I need all the sexy ladies to DM me, and another stated that's just nasty. I wouldn't F her with your expletive, I guess, hashtag slap yourself. And in one comment in 2010, a post said, I don't even call the police pigs, I call them cow. It's a beef thing. So they're saying 10 to 12 people had access to this account. And Crowley himself didn't post the controversial messages, but he's somehow linked to this account, right? Says NBC News updated his story to say Rehanio Boynes, I don't even know how to say this name, Rehanio Boynes said he was one of a few people to write on that account, and he was sure that Crowley didn't write the offensive post. And his response, okay, I wanted to read his response saying, the people who know me will be the first to tell you that I would never say these things. Bottom line, I strongly condemn the language used in these posts from a decade and a half ago. And then they go on to say the latest Marquette poll found that 45% of the people are undecided. Francisca Hong, 26%, Mandela Barnes, 15%, Sarah Rodriguez, 11%, Joe Brennan, 2%, and Kelda Roy's at 1%. It says Crowley wasn't included. And Missy Hughes, who suspended her campaign before the poll was conducted, but she'll still remain on the ballot. Okay. Says 2 other new polls give a deeper look into the race without Rodriguez and Crowley. The Crowley campaign released an internal poll that also showed Hung ahead with 35% and Barnes and Crowley neck to neck for second place. Crowley campaign commissioned public policy polling. It found that undecided voters at 28%, Hung at 35%, Barnes at 15%, Crowley at 14%, Rose at 5%, and Brennan at 3%. Sarah Rodriguez was out. I guess Barnes, Mandela Barnes did his own polling, and by Impact Research, it says Hung at 39%, Barnes at 26%, and Crowley at 11%, with the undecided voters coming in at 11%. Roy's was at 7%, Brennan at 6%. Okay. Well, just wanted to be clear about what was actually said. Let me see what we got in the chat room. Let me go in the chat room all the way back up because I missed some comments. Okay, so this is Ace Cooley in the chat room. He says, who is the Asian lady running? Francesca Hong, who's currently leading amongst the Democrats. Earl Henning said Donald Trump fell down. I did see that. I was wondering if that was AI. And A says, is she American born? I don't know. I don't know a lot about her. I just know she's a democratic socialist. Tony on the way says, this is why we're doomed. Our country is ran by a bunch of sex offenders. Earl Henning says, White Wisconsin. Let me see. Was this Jose Powell 1302 said, you are super local now. I am? What does that mean? I'm super local now. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Let me know what you mean, Jesse or Jose Powell. Let me know what that means. I think that's how you say it. Joseph Powell. I'm super local. I don't know what that means. Kerry Walker Jones said that's that Trump phone because Orlando's phone dropped. I don't know why it dropped. And Tony on the way said, what burner account? This is I guess a burner account that's been linked to David Crowley. So, said this is Joseph Powell. That WS, my name, that was my name in the 90s. What was your name in the 90s? Joseph Powell, you got me confused. You all over the place. A said all that shit is weak as hell. If we can have a president that has 34 felonies, then that's some weak ass shit. Okay. Orlando, your phone absolutely did drop. I don't know what happened. And this is Ace talking about Trump. He said with his pussy grabbing Epstein list nasty ass. Okay. Hey, it's 262-202-5131. It's Outlaw Radio, Slick Talk on a Wednesday evening, man. Just on here chopping it up, talking about the latest of the latest, man. Talking about the politics, talking about what's going on in the news. Like I said, we're still at war. And this was supposed to be over. But this is just a wasteful pursuit. He said I'm speaking about internal Milwaukee gossip. Yeah, we talk about local politics on here, my brother. Yes, we do. I do have to address what's going on in my city because there's a large part of my outlaw family that is in the 414. So, and my job really, what I look at it is to inform people. So yes, we do talk about a lot of internal Milwaukee stuff. Yes, we do. And shout out to everybody from the 414 if you're tuning in and you can appreciate something that's addressing us, right? Ruben Anderson, how you doing? And Dion said, it's my phone. Now, how do you know? Why would you say it's my phone, Dion? Why is it my phone? I don't know why the assumption is made that it's my phone. My phone just rang, so I picked it up. Orlando, give me a second. All right. Now I got Orlando back on the line, and I have Dion on the line. First, I want to ask Dion, why I got to be my phone?
Well, shit, because I tried to call you, and it was like the number you are calling, and normally when it does that, it'd be something wrong with your phone, unless a couple of people were trying to call in at the same time.
Right. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. It could have been.
Calm down. Hey.
I don't know why you got to come for me, man. You don't got to come for me, man.
Calm down.
Now, I got to get Orlando's back on the line since you said it was my phone. because you couldn't get through.
Damn.
There's a busy signal. Orlando, you want to finish what you was talking about or what?
Yeah, I was just saying, man. I just it's a strange turn of the event. I think I don't know if this affects that race or not. That people are, that David's doing more explaining again. Does he does he stop his campaign again? I don't know. If anything's going to come of it, how do you, it's just strange that in the land of X that when you set up an account, you don't usually give access. I mean, unless again, I question. I don't know if it's going to hurt or not. I question this. Back then, what was David working at? Was he working for the state representative back then? I don't know. 15 years ago, what David was at, but it's just a strange thing. I think Mandela is definitely poised to go head to head with Hung. If people get behind him, I don't know, but it's going to be 20 days out, and we're going to see what rallies up. Again, I think that we're knocking on the door of seeing Governor Tiffany because I don't think the Democratic coalition that is always talked about comes together after this. I think there's going to be a bloodbath between now and the next 20 days. You got Joe Brennan, whatever his name is, put out a commercial, and the black people going crazy because he didn't talk about Kelda Roy. He said David quit last week. He said the one lady, the socialists, won't win, and Mandela already ran and lost, and he got criticized. He was on some show today, but black media is going crazy that he left out the white woman. So it's a wild time right now in Wisconsin politics. I land there.
Okay. I don't know. To say black media is going crazy, that might be a stretch. I don't know that black media is going crazy because a lot of them don't even know who Josh Brennan is. But Earl said because it was saying you wasn't answering. Yeah, but that don't mean that it made me drop a call. Whatever. I mean, maybe it was my phone. Who knows? But the damage done in terms of perception is what the Democratic Party should be concerned with now. Because I think a lot of people's perception of them now is like they don't know what they're doing, or there's a lot of confusion, or like who's in charge here? Like what's going on? Like how could so many mishaps befall one political party in one election? So we'll see. I don't know if I'm ready to crown. I see Orlando hollering Governor Tiffany. He's very comfortable saying Governor Tiffany. But of course, that's the Republican candidate. So of course, that's who Orlando's going to vote for, according to his own words. Not me making an assumption. That's what he said.
Well, I wonder what I might do something different in the primary, though.
Well, we'll see. Earl Henning says, so the black man can't have a second phone, but the white man can take the pussy. Okay. All right. Listen. It would be very hypocritical for people now to say I'm not voting for DC because of this burner account on X when we do have some sitting politicians with some very, very questionable personal decision making. I right now we talking about the moral fiber of politicians we got in America ain't something that you want to hang a banner on right now. I definitely don't think Republicans should be the first to speak out about some illicit comments on Twitter. We're talking about Twitter from 15 years ago, right? Like, I mean, I want everybody stop and ask themselves, where were you at 15 years ago? What were you doing? And what would you have said if somebody had to put a microphone in your face? Right? I know myself, I was a different person on totally different state of mind. There's no telling what you'd have heard me say. Hell, 10 years ago, 2 years ago. I mean, I got over 275 shows on YouTube right now. And I'm pretty sure if you go through them with a fine-tooth comb, if I ever ran for political office, you find me saying some pretty crazy, wild things, right? Like, and you say, yo, you said this? Only thing I can say is, yeah, I did say that. I forgot I had said that, but it is what it is, man. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. How about we move like that? So, Dion, while I got you on the line with the burner account, with what they saying was posted on David's account, have you seen this yet?
No, but I was hearing about it when I was on my way home and shit. I was hearing about it. I was hearing about it from other sources. I'm like, go ahead. I was hearing about it from other sources, and I'm like, Well, he should have just stayed out the race point blank. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not voting for him or Mandela. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fuck with the Chinese lady. You know what I'm saying? At least I'm voting. Because normally I just started this voting thing. Normally I ain't even give a fuck about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think he should have just stayed out the race. But they'll probably try to find a way to clean it up. If not, then shit, that's part of the game, man.
And what makes you want to vote?
Well, I'm not voting for Tom Tiffany. I don't like Mandela. I wouldn't vote for the lieutenant governor because I don't know nothing about her. I haven't heard nothing about her, and
she's no longer in the race.
I know, but I'm just telling you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like some of the stuff that maybe old girl keep doing what Tony Evers is doing with giving pardons. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm just voting really just to be voting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not voting for no Republican. This shit ain't got nothing in it. I'm not voting for no Republican. I'm not voting for Mandela. David shit just don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, why not?
Okay.
That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't fucking with none of them people. On the real. It's probably a lot of people gonna sit this shit out, though, to keep it real with you because, like, the one person was just talking, a lot of people did early voting already. So, motherfuckers, now that's about to be some bullshit because if you voted for, say, what was the lieutenant governor name? If you voted for her, she no longer in the race. Then when you voted for David, he dropped out, then back in. And then the other lady, what's her name? Hughes, she's still on the ballot. It's just, man, the Democratic Party, like they said, is in a disarray right now, man. In the state of Wisconsin. And so Wisconsin will probably be used as a learning tool. Wisconsin probably will be used as a learning tool for other Democrats on what not to do. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I'm just going to really be honest with you. I kind of believe what the one guy said because it's like a white guy. I mean, it's like a black guy trying to run for governor in Montana. Wisconsin is a rural state. It really is. The majority of the people live in Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, Racine, and Kenosha. You get all these, like because I drive trucks. So I be up north. So many Tom Tiffany signs up north to make your motherfucking head spin. You know what I'm saying? So, but I agree with what the guy what's his name, Noel Brennan or whatever his name is, that Wisconsin is not ready for a black governor. But I also understand this as far as with politics. I think a lot of people, like we say a lot of times, they don't really understand it. They really don't understand it. And my whole thing is like, so remember when Governor Evers first won the governorship, he had promised to decriminalize marijuana. That inspired a lot of voters to get out and want to vote. You feel what I'm saying? So when you have something that a person could relate to, like say for instance, I used to be against homosexuals. Now, I don't give a fuck about them. That's their life. But if Donald Trump would have ended the homosexual marriage thing, I probably would have voted for him because I don't like the homosexuals. Now, I don't give a fuck about them because that's their life. I'm not laying up with no man. Fuck all the men you want. Be a transgender. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. It ain't got nothing to do with me. So a lot of things that Francesca Home, and my whole thing, like with her, I don't give a fuck about the school. Because I'm tired of MPS for one. These motherfuckers keep on wanting money from us. Our property tax is gonna be sky high fucking with these people. I don't care about MPS. I don't care about none of that shit. Because I see a lot of schools leading to be industrialized. Like a lot of companies gonna come in and like pick the schools. But my whole thing is, if she's still gonna allow the pardon thing to go on, that's something that I hold near and dear to my heart because I am a convicted felon and I feel that my time has passed and I should be able to have a pardon and be able to live my life out. You feel what I'm saying? So if that's something that she brings up, That's something that I stand behind, and that's something that I would like to see. I would like to see it be
Dion,
on a better basis. What?
give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we got another caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This Earl, man, from Milwaukee.
What's going on, Earl?
Man, I was just listening to Dion. He kind of make a little sense, but I would have never voted for Donald Trump. He was a racist since day one, so that wasn't going to happen. And two, I think the best candidate for the governor is he smelled the milk. He spilled the milk before. And plus, you got to have a backup plan when you're married with a phone on the side because you never know who's going to call you.
Okay.
Well, for him to say that, no, he ain't going to give him the chance, we can't keep letting these people sell us. Nobody. Nobody should be able to sell us as much money that they take from us all year. I hope Donald Trump, this is the only thing I hope Donald Trump do that makes sense is the income tax thing. There ain't going to be no more income tax. It's going to be an internal tax or whatever what they were saying. Because if we don't see this problem, man, we're going to be stuck in the same situation 10 years from now for those that's going to be here. Because we all don't know if our day is gone tomorrow.
Okay. I hear you.
And for Orlando, we already know who he was going to vote for. He don't care. If he cared about the black community, he would know that's the last person we should put in office. But of course, like they say, the skin you in don't mean the skin you gonna roll with.
Yeah, well, they say all skin folk ain't kin folk, right? So we'll see.
Yeah. So Clarence Thomas, best friend, and Donald Trump homie, do you?
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. Do you? Right. Do you? I
Yeah.
agree.
Do you, man?
I agree.
But then when you see your family failing or falling in hardship, help them out. Then don't turn your back on. Don't change the phone number or send them to voicemail. Because we all know, all of us black got somebody that need help in our family.
Right.
That's receiving benefits.
Absolutely. You are correct.
So yeah, we should get benefits. If they paid us to 40 acres and a mule, we probably won't need the benefits.
Well, we'll see. I don't think we're going about demanding reparations the right way. So that's a whole other show.
Well,
a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, we know that. And we need to stop spending our money giving it away. That's why we don't have no money in our neighborhoods. We give our money away. Our money goes for them to buy houses in Oak Creek and Franklin and Brookfield and Waukesha and Mequon and River Hill.
Right.
And Whitefish Bay, because, hey, there's $1 million houses in Whitefish Bay.
Right.
So I tell people this all the time. We giving our money away because we ain't circling it with us. Everything we buy, we got to buy it from somebody else. Opening up the oldest store that they're using as a dump right now. They come open that back up as a grocery store. But who's going to open it up?
Well, they have a gentleman, I guess, who's ready. I put that in the People's News Network too. He's saying he wants to open a grocery store on that site.
Yeah, but he owned the grocery store up on Capitol now, don't he? Ain't that owned by foreigners?
I don't know. I'd have to go and
see. There used to be the Dollar General. There used to be Dollar General, the 41st in Capitol, next to up the street from the gas station.
I would have to go and research his background. Because it's one of them stories I just glanced at and kept going past it. And actually,
Well,
Mama
that's
Mama
who owns
Jenkins,
that store now. So
Mama
that's
Jenkins is
who.
talking about that in the chat room right now. She's saying more new dumping at the closed Aldi store on Sherman Boulevard. The eyesore Sears building that the city gave money to Kaylin Haywood, $3.85 million, a city loan to redevelop, and nothing has come of it. What happened to that money? Did he get it because there was some rape allegations or something like that came along during that time for Kaylin Haywood? I don't know what happened to the money, Mama Jenkins. That's a good question. Earl, I want to thank you for calling. I always appreciate your input. Let me clear this line. I got so many people on the phone. Let me clear this line right quick though. So I think is Earl still with us? I think Earl hung up. Dion, you still on with us? Anywho, I do got the fact checker in the building who just joined. Ian C. Jordan. What up, Ian? What's going on, man?
What's up, Mr. Barnes? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's Wednesday evening, man. We are knee deep, man. We are knee deep in the shiznit, as they say. A lot going on. You know, as always, talk about this election. Let me get this chat room clear right quick.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you a question.
A says shit wasn't Bill Gates getting in the White House and still got a second. You mean Bill Clinton? I said Gates. He said wasn't Bill. I'm sorry. He said still got a second term in office. On top of that, all the bullshit going on is because these dirty ass white politicians that need distractions. Okay. Sorry for misquoting you, man. Ace Cooley in the chat room, he says, we need somebody to improve the infrastructure. Okay. I don't disagree with that. And Ace says, by the way, please stop allowing Ben Crump and Al Sharpton at black folks' funerals. They tend to make a mockery of it. These are hope dealers with no hope. Oh, okay. Shots at them. I don't know who's on the line. My line gets convoluted because we always have a lot of people on the line, so I'm gonna clear it. So anybody, Kev, you hung up on me. I had to clear the line. I just want you to know I have to clear the line. Nobody was saying anything, so you're just pretty much holding a space. But you're welcome to call back 262-202-5131. Shout out to Earl. Earl, I had to clear the line. That's why I wanted to. That's what was going on. That's why I had to try to. I didn't mean for you to hang up, but you feel free to call back. Now, Ace, I'm sorry, Ian. What's on your mind, man? What's going on with you tonight?
What do you think? What do you think about the election, man? What do you think? Do you think that Hong or Francisca? Do you think she's gonna beat out Mandela? Because I know that Evers went back, and I believe that he's Is he endorsing Crowley? Did I read that right?
He is endorsing Crowley.
Says a lot. That says a lot. Not to Mandela, in my opinion. It just says a lot. You know, like, okay, dude, don't fuck with him clearly. So, okay, yeah, I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on it? Why would he not freaking endorse his own lieutenant governor at one period of his, administration? Crazy, man.
You weren't here Monday, so we had a very long discussion about this Monday, in which I said the same thing. And obviously, there's some disagreement, a parting of ways between himself and Mandela. But I always thought it was just very silly when DC had dropped out, and Rodriguez had dropped out, and instead of the Democratic Party then saying, "Okay, let's try to get Mandela, let's give him some juice, let's pump him up," they went back and got DC and said, "Come on, get back in the race." So once again, the perception, the optics on this election. It has people looking at the Democratic Party like, yo, what the hell are y'all doing?
Yeah, that was my perspective. Like, what are you guys doing? Because Mandela, I'm sorry, I've been on quite a few quote unquote conservative. You know, I hate to call these people conservatives because they're not, because they believe in the expansion of government, higher taxes because they support Trump. But I'm not beating that dead horse again. But the thing is, though, they're even perplexed. They're like, oh, it's good. Go Hung because Tiffany can beat Hung, because honestly, dude, Mandela has a shot against Tiffany. He really does. And it goes back to what you said a few weeks ago. You might not even remember that you said it, but you said that Mandela he's been in those rooms. He was the lieutenant governor in the past. It to me is logical, man. I mean, DC, I think should run for mayor in Milwaukee. Mandela be the governor. You know what I'm saying? I think that would make more sense, but that's just me, man. I don't know.
You know what? In my conversation with David a couple years back, he expressed that he didn't want to be the mayor. He wanted to be the governor. And I thought at that time, and I said to him, I think you should go, run for mayor. I think you do a better job than who we have now. And he told me then, no, I want to be governor. I'm not thinking about being mayor. And he told me this long before he even announced. I just didn't leak it because that's not what I do.
Why does he want to? What was his logic though?
We didn't go into it. He didn't say. He just said that he wanted to be governor, which surprised me enough at the time because he had just, I think he maybe had been in office for about a year and a half. Wasn't long. It was still fairly new. So I don't know. Now I got Orlando and Dion got back on the line. Earl is on the other line. So we're going to have to, I can't hold everybody on the line on the phone, y'all. So I don't know if Dion or you or Orlando got something you want to drop in here, and then you can always hang up.
I hang up and then I call back though. I hang up and call back. I'm like, damn, you left me on the phone with that nigga, man. He questioning me and shit, asking me old goof ass questions on my mom. I keep be on your ass. Keep asking me why the fuck am I gonna vote for who the fuck am I gonna vote for? Why the fuck you vote for that racist ass trick Donald Trump and still hold his dick? That's why.
Oh my god!
Who the fuck I want to vote for?
Wait, Dion,
on my mama, bro, that shit pissed me clean the fuck off.
What are you talking about?
Orlando. Because me and him was on he like, you're claiming that you're blacker than black. Ask the stupid, dumb shit. I gave him a reason why I'm not fucking with David or Mandela. I'm telling him something about old girl, why I feel like I'm going to vote for her. He keep on trying to wear her blacker than black, and you say you black. Motherfucker, that's like you running for something. You black as a motherfucker. I want to vote for your motherfucking ass knowing that you support Donald Trump. Oh, my mama, goof ass nigga. I'm about to hang up and listen, man, on my mama.
Okay, so we didn't hear none of that because Earl Henning, I had clicked over. I couldn't merge the calls. Earl was actually speaking. So we didn't hear any of y'all conversation, Dion. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, we didn't hear any of that. Oh, my, but I heard the fucking aftermath. My goodness.
Yeah, we all just heard that. Orlando, are you still with us on here?
I am.
Okay. Your response is what? Because I want to keep it moving.
Oh, well, Dion's emotional. He's just getting called out for the hypocrite that he is. And he don't want to deal with that. He said some babble about, well, they're going to take away the pardon. And I was telling Mandela and Dave are going to take away the pardon. And that's important to me. And that's why I'm voting for the Hmong lady. This is the same dude who get on every week saying, hate crackers, hate white our people need to annex ourselves. We need to do this. Black people. And this nigga get over here talking about, well, they gonna take away the pardon. I said, what Democrat has ever taken away the pardon prize? Well, Skippy, Scott Walker, and I said, they ain't Democrats. What are you talking about? And he goes on, I ain't got to tell you nothing. I'm gonna vote where I'm gonna vote. I'm just saying, because you black, you saw number one every day. The defense of, talking around with Dr. Kiki on, but you don't give every excuse of why you won't vote for David. Or for Mandela. I don't like Mandela. And David ain't did nothing. His campaign in disarray. I said, man, you need to go ahead on and keep on, doing whatever you're doing. Because you say you so down with the people, but you got two good dudes who running for office. I'm going to vote for the Hmong lady. I'm like, all right. And that's how it went. Okay. He can get on here and get emotional and like, oh, that's why he did it. So you just mad because you're getting called as a hypocrite, because I don't claim something that I'm not, and I don't false flag. You claim you're so down, but we got two black men, and you one of the same ones. We need to get black businesses. We need to shop black. We need to have our black neighborhoods. Niggas, you got a black person right now running for office, and your bum ass gonna sit there. I'm gonna vote for the Hmong lady, the Chinese lady, the Asian. I said, man, go ahead on, and that's where it is.
I knew that was coming, Kevin.
Tony on the way said a black DT supporter is wild. He said them DT supporters is dangerously in denial. Well, Tony, obviously you've never listened to Outlaw Radio because Brother Orlando is the resident Donald Trump supporter, and he is a black man. In terms of what Dion said about, he has the right to his preference. Regardless of, where we stand at with things, right? Like, people are going to do what they want to do. They're going to vote for whoever they feel like. I said earlier, make sure you're voting for someone who represents your best interests, right? And if he feels like Hung she represents his best interest, then, go ahead. Now, like I said, I'm always on black people's side. So I'm going to vote for a brother. Like, if it's only two of them, I'm going to vote for one of them. I'm not going to say who I'm going to vote for right now because it ain't your business. But it's going to either be DC or it's going to be Mandela. It's going to be one of the two. And I've had conversations with both of them. I've interviewed both of them. So, I have an insight on a lot of times on their mentality. So I'm always going to be on the side of black people. I do agree with Orlando on, if you say you want black this and black that and black, and this ain't a shot at Dion because I rock with Dion, that's my guy.
Yeah.
But if you say you are pro-black and you for us, and you can't waver, it always has to be us, right? Like, and there's a lot of people who are, and maybe that's that 45% that's undecided, saying, yo, I want to vote for the brother, but let me see what this hung lady is saying. Now, Brennan did say the state of Wisconsin ain't ready for a non-white governor. And how long ago has it been since I stated that this gubernatorial race, by and large, will be decided by northern Wisconsin? And this state is 85% white. And so it's very, very, very tough to get a black man into Madison. I said that a long time ago. And we've said it a lot of times on this show. So
yeah, it's not going to happen probably, most likely.
Well, but I mean, are they cool with, number one, a woman, and number two, a Hmong lady, an Asian lady? I mean, because if you can do that, if it's time for that, then I'm going to stop believing in the narrative that a black man can't do it.
Very good point. Do you think that now if DC or Mandela doesn't get in, you got hung?
Absolutely do not. There's no giving. If DC or Mandela don't make it through the primary,
yeah,
I'm going right up under that 45% that says undecided because I don't know what I'm going to do. I know it won't be Tiffany. I know it won't be Tiffany. I will not. I refuse to support any MAGA supporting. I don't care. You could be running for the YMCA. I'm not even. No, if you're a MAGA supporter, I'm not rocking with you.
No, not at all.
I mean, I may exercise my right for a write-in candidate. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I like to see. I like to see what's going on.
Who is Tony OTW? Because I'm a fan. Whoever the hell this is, I like this shit.
Tony on the way. I believe he or she. I don't know if it's. Sometimes I say he, and then it's like I'm a lady.
Christ.
They've been with us. Tony has been with us tonight.
Shout Tony, out to you doing your thing, Tony, for real, on some real stuff.
Says the black man DT supporter is a good reason to vote without considering the race as a decision factor.
Damn.
Okay.
Yikes.
To consider the race as I'm trying to read that back because I don't know if I said that right. He's saying it's a good reason to vote without considering the race as a decision factor. The black man DT supporter. So that's to say, if you black and you support Donald Trump, it's a good reason to vote without considering.
No. What Tony is saying that if the two brothers don't get out, you should vote for Hong.
Yeah, I'm not really a supporter. The attitude of Asian people in my community, coupled with what happened in North Carolina and the sentiments expressed by a lot of Asian people, has me side-eyeing them as well. So I don't know that I'm comfortable casting my vote in that direction. Now, I'm one of those people who says race is a determining factor on how I vote. Now, I'm openly going to admit race carries a lot of weight in terms of who I vote for. Like, some people might say race don't matter to me. It matters to me. Anytime a black person is involved in anything, I'm with them. They got to show me that they ain't with us for me to say I'm not rocking with them. So race is a factor for me in any race. I don't care what race it is. Kerry Walker says a Hmong woman can be much worse for a black man than a white woman. Don't even think she will have sympathy for the black man. Are we looking for sympathy? What's that? Now we talking. Now we're talking about what we need to be talking about. Are we looking for sympathy as black people, or is that what we're looking for? Candidates who will be sympathetic, or is it more empathy than sympathy? Do you want empathy or do you want sympathy? Do you want them to say, look, here's a group of people who got some tough things going on. I need to try and help them, or do you want to say all those poor Negroes? Because I think that's my problem with liberals. With liberal white people is that it's too much, oh, you poor Negroes. Poor Negro.
Way too much of that shit. They're annoying with that, actually.
Right, and I don't like that. I don't like that whole, oh, you poor Negroes. No. I'm a proud man of color. And it ain't all good, but it damn sure ain't all bad. So there's that. But people are gonna express themselves, and this is Outlaw Radio, so you are free to express yourself how you see fit. I just can't have. I don't know why I can't have as many people on my phone as I used to. I think I can only do 2 or 3 at a time. So if anybody wants to call,
Well, I'll say this and I'll jump off, get this 45 minutes, and I'll call you back. But I'll ask you this next question, Ken. Do you agree that, with these polls, that the internal polls of David Crowley and also the internal polls of Mandela Barnes themselves, having this young lady up front, is she going to cut us some deals with the Asians so we can open up some black beauty supply stores? Are we going to be able to get some more black nail techs? And, are we going? So again, like you said, there's a historical relationship that it ain't the best. And the question to me, that I ask for Democrat voters, are you going to come back after the primary is over if David nor Mandela win? And if David does win, does the Mandela vote come back? Because now it looks like this is Bernie Sanders 2016 again, that the party leaned in and picked the candidate. So I think this is the wild card for the Democratic Party of how fractured and how angry people are going to be no matter who wins. That's the sad thing. I try to call you brothers back.
All right. First of all, I think they brought it on themselves. The Democrats brought this on themselves.
Yeah.
But more importantly, once again, in terms of more black nail techs and stuff like that, that's on us though. That's on because
that was a good point. And as far as his defense, that was a very good point though.
You can go to school. You can go to school and get a license to become a cosmetologist. There's nothing that stops you from doing that.
Not at all.
What they do is they consolidate and they open up businesses. We can do that. Like they're Asians in our community are not stopping us from opening up businesses. And that is on us. And I want to say, let's not overshoot here. We've never had a governor, and I don't think we'll have one soon, that's going to develop this special place in their heart for Milwaukee.
Oh, hell no.
I don't think we're looking at who's going to do the best for Milwaukee in this.
Man, they wish Milwaukee would burn off the face of the state, dog.
Well, no, they want that tax revenue.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Tax revenue. Right. Okay, we still got the Brewer Stadium. We still got the lakefront. It's still. I just feel like we got issues in the city of Milwaukee that we need to take to our city leaders.
I think he was talking about short term though, KB. I see where he was going with that shit though, because he's just like, man, they got all the infrastructure in now. They can hire cats right away. I think that's what he was saying though. That's a good point though.
I just don't think we got to don't be looking up in the sky thinking that the governor is going to walk in there on the first day and say, and you know what, Milwaukee, I got your back. That's not because that
ain't never gonna happen. They never gonna have Milwaukee's back.
That's not who's gonna put him in Madison. So
not at all.
So
look at Tim Michaels when he ran for governor. He went to Milwaukee. He lost all kind of support. Why you down there with them niggas? Yeah, it was right.
Oh, you gotta go. You gotta cater to northern Wisconsin, man.
Yeah.
Gary Walker said, "Yeah, if we're talking about pardons, if you're talking about pardons, and that's where a lot of brothers with F's is living. So that should be an issue for them."
I need to call back, bro.
He said, "No, we ain't looking for nothing but what we are owed. Give us our shit." Okay. Earl Henning said, "We need understanding. Pray for us." A said, "At the end of the day, we patronize immigrant businesses, but they do not do any business with us,
and never will."
Yeah. I mean, what?
And that's a never will too, and never will unless you own a white type of franchise. Period.
Well, we got to diversify because I mean. If you got a barbershop or a beauty salon, why would they come? You don't do their hair, right? But we'll go to them and buy a wig or a weave or some hair grease or some whatever. But we got to start looking at things that they buy. They buy things they need from each other, though. So
all I gotta say to people is, man, if you really want to learn, if you don't know, I studied this years ago, and I'm learning even more. I learned about economics from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. What they did in Harlem using Malcolm X and how what you say every week, KB, creating our own infrastructure, one neighborhood at a time. It's not even complicated what you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's not. It's actually really simple. Now, to get everybody on the same page, I think that's highly unrealistic. But, you can have like 5 or 6 friends. You live on 25th and Burleigh. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing. Hey, start a little, twice a week. You know what I'm saying? Sell you some sandwiches or something. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm just trying to give an example. But yeah, dude, you're right, dog. Like, there's nothing stopping people from opening up nail salons or beauty shops or corner stores. People done got freaking lazy, and people didn't just like the convenience aspect.
One thing that's stopping them, and that's poverty in terms of most people's argument is that a lot of immigrants come over here and get opportunities to get funding to start businesses that we who have been here forever don't get access to.
Yes and no.
I think there's a lot of people who might say that. Paul, you got to turn us down in the background. You got to turn it down. Tony on the way says we're doomed. We got black Donald Trump supporters giving us political advice.
Damn. Hey, what do we get for that?
Carrie, we can have that all day if they put those training programs in the schools. Most of those white kids are trained in something in high school. And then Tony on the way says Milwaukee City leaders are as bad as the only strippers. They get added off click likes and money. Okay.
He meant OnlyFans, and that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, hey man, to each his own now.
Yeah.
Some people
I ain't knocking it. Go get it.
Right, get your money. Now I got a caller. Who is this? Who we got on here?
It's Ace, man. I'm just listening to this, man, about this shit, about these motherfucking immigrants. I mean, at this point, and Ian's right. But at the same time, man, I mean, they buy everything that we do, man. It's the crazy thing is I ordered one of these motherfucking sweatshirts. I don't know if y'all be on Facebook and then it's called Melanated or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Man, that shit is fucking Asian owned. That's the shit they be doing, man. That's just Asian owned. And motherfuckers really don't know. And they got a fake ass black motherfucking name up there. I'm just like, man, come on. So, I mean, at this point, we should start biting that shit. Make our own Chinese food. Make our own tacos, Mexican cuisine.
Hey, they was doing that during the riots in LA in the 90s, Ace. Remember when they was putting black owned on their stores so the shit wouldn't get burned down?
Yeah, man. But, dude, I mean, take a page out of their book, man. Take their shit. Perfect their shit. You know what I'm saying? Just because we black don't mean we can't sell Chinese food. Shit. And fuck them.
Hey, we just out here. It's a lot of brothers that got Mexican restaurants. There's a few brothers that got Mexican restaurants. They just stole that shit, and then they hey, KB, they be doing oxtail tacos and all kind of shit.
Listen, if I go and I love Mexican food. If I go in a
me too.
restaurant, there's a bunch of brothers in there, I'ma leave. I ain't gonna lie.
Watch your ass. Yeah, quit being biased, man. Get the shit to chicken. You ain't gonna even taste it.
I need to get my own buzzer.
I'm out. If I go in there and you talking about some oxtail taco, bro.
What if the shit good?
I ain't gonna lie, KB. I heard this shit fire though. Everybody I talked to said this shit fire. Even Mexican people said it's fire.
I go to the Jamaicans and get me some oxtail.
Yeah. That's a good alternative.
You know, it's one of the biggest reasons why I have a problem with Taco Bell. Like you go in there and you never see no Mexican people and Latino. Well, I guess you're on the South Side, but you know with that
shit ain't real meat anyway, Kev. That shit ain't gonna do nothing but give you the run. That shit just like that shit they give you explosive diarrhea right now.
On the spot.
There was a rumor that the lettuce was coming from there. So
that's not a rumor, KB. Taco Bell gets 70% of their lettuce from Taylor Farms. And by the way, Taylor Farms they gave a $1 million donation to the Donald Trump Fund, just for context.
Right. Well, he went and had a conversation with Donald Trump to kind of straighten some stuff out, didn't he? I thought they said that.
Yes, they did.
Taco Bell wanted a removal, and he wasn't looking for that. He was like, "No, hey man, get this label off of us."
Well, shit.
So it's just like if I go in a soul food restaurant, it's a bunch of white people in there with kente cloths on, talking about, "Hey, welcome." It's like, yo, I'm not doing I'm not. Unless it's
some white people with kente cloths.
Right, unless it's a some southern white people in a barbecue. I mean, they can be pit masters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I don't, you ain't cooking no dressing. I want some dressing that some white people done made. Cheese, right? Some stovetop stuffing, right? Like, come on,
that's shit different.
Cultural means cultural, man. Let's be honest. But
everybody steal our shit, Kev. We might as well steal their shit back. And put the nigga on it too. Shit, fuck that. We know how to season some shit.
Let's just do some traditional stuff, like if you want to open a restaurant and get some chefs. There's a lot. Get some black chefs. There's culinary. You can get some black gourmet restaurants. You can get it don't gotta be soul food by Jimmy Dean and them. Like, it don't got to be that. Just like I'm saying.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. If you do have a soul food restaurant, it's a couple out here, dog, and they actually do really well because, like you said, they got a chef. The dude out here, I don't really fuck with him, but yeah, he was real disrespectful to my mom when she called because we was gonna take a party to him, and he must be having a bad day. I'm gonna talk to Brian, but he was Mary J. Blige and Eddie Murphy's chef. He was on the Celebrity Chef. His name is Brian. I'll get his last name. And Brian literally, he does a whole bunch of fucking just upscale soul food, dude. And he's been around for a while now. He's very successful.
I'm gonna tell you the hardest thing about a soul food restaurant. And this is why a lot of people open and they don't last long, is because most of us, especially if you grew up as a foundational Black American, your family members prepared food in a unique way that your family did it, right?
Yep.
So if you grew up eating your grandmother's dressing or your auntie's mac and cheese,
I don't eat everybody's shit.
Fried chicken, she did it in a certain way that you loved, right? And you say, well, that's soul food. But then you go to this soul food restaurant, you get it, it don't taste the same. So it's very inconsistent. So it's hard when somebody says, I got a soul food restaurant, and you go get something like some collard greens. You know what? Everybody doesn't prepare collard greens. Every Black person don't prepare collard greens the same way, right? Or macaroni and cheese, like I said. So it's very hard. It can be very inconsistent. It's just like even Chinese food. The problem with Chinese food, especially here in Milwaukee, is a lot of the restaurants are not consistent because certain Chinese people or certain Asian people prepare food a certain way. So you'll certain Asian restaurants, you'll be like, oh, this is the shrimp fried rice here is garbage. Where you go to another place and you be like, oh, I love their shrimp fried rice.
It's fire. Yep.
So when you're doing anything cultural, it's hard to stay consistent because a lot of these recipes aren't standardized. They don't, everybody doesn't follow. Like my mother used to make sweet potato pies and people loved them. But there's some people who make sweet potato pies. You go, oh, okay, this ain't,
That's why Miss Sylvia's greens did so well and her vegetables because they used a consistent season that they used during that time frame. And my mom made it for her friend, and he's 82 years old, and he ate it. He's like, these greens taste just like my mom used to make. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you like this, man. Just for, and I don't know about Milwaukee, but, I've heard rumors on the East Coast, like in New York and shit, about these Chinese food. These motherfuckers giving us giving Black people plastic rice and shit like that.
Probably.
But, at the end of the day, at least we know it's real food. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't eating dog and cat and shit like that because that ain't in our nature.
Well, I don't know some of the stuff and my wife and I have had this discussion many a times. You look at the texture of some of the stuff you get, like you buy Chinese food, you get food, and you eat, and you say, wait, well, this is supposed to be chicken, right? Like, why this chicken has a texture like no other, right? Like I don't normally the chicken that we make is not textured like this. So we don't know what it is. And that's the risk you take when you go in one of these restaurants. And in their countries, dog and cat might be something that they eat. So for us, it's not something.
It is.
But it might be something that they utilize. Now, give me a second.
It's a delicacy.
Let me go to my chat room. Mama Jenkins says, today I was on the east side around Brady Street and around the lake, and I saw a lot of hung yard signs. A Black candidate would win in Milwaukee, but not in the rural areas. Wisconsin is racist, and Barnes probably was not a yes man to Governor Tony. That could be the reason he didn't endorse him. I really would like for someone to ask him what his reason was for endorsing D.C. And not his former lieutenant governor.
That's some wild shit.
Governor Orlando Owens said he's on YouTube now because Facebook was glitching. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not something.
Man, that shit is perplexing, and I know why. Like you said, KB, they didn't end on the best terms. Something happened, but it's like, damn,
Kerry Walker says so. Everything Trump is involved in is a shitty deal.
No pun intended.
No pun or maybe a pun intended.
No, that was completely pun intended. That's fucking perfect. That was a good one. She get the Comment of the Night award. That was pretty good.
Yeah, and I've said this many a times, and I don't, I said, and this was years ago, the governorship of this state has got to go through northern Wisconsin, and that is basically for us as people of color. That might as well be the boondocks, right? Like we don't know. It's not even a place you don't hear nobody saying, "Hey man, I'm moving to Middleton," or "Yeah, I'm about to
He
move to
said Middleton.
I'm about to move to Huracan, man. Yeah, I'm headed up that way." Like, we don't even desire to be out there. So, and there's people who live out there who their families have been there forever. You got a whole Upper Peninsula, and they vote for governorship. So, yeah, when they look at a black man from southeastern Wisconsin and be like, "Yo, not even on a bad day, we are not."
Like, no, nigga, they're like, "No, nigga, we good." No.
So this was the thing, and this is why a lot of black people don't put much stake on the governor, the election. A lot of black people be like, "Man, I don't care about that shit." I mean, black people tell you that about a lot of things. But if you say, "Man, who you voting for governor?" They be like, "Man, I don't know, man. I don't be paying attention to that shit. They gonna do what they want."
There's a lot of black people that probably ain't gonna vote for the governorship, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they like to keep it real with you, man. We so I don't know. I can't think of the word for it. But we just don't feel like none of that shit is working for us, Democrat or Republican. But I know what I called back for. I forgot who that was on here just talk. But they do have plastic rice, though. The Asians do have plastic rice. Because, and I'm going to tell you how I know this. This one, Wong's Walk, was on Appleton and shit. And I went there and I bought some some chicken and shit. You know, I like me some sweet and sour chicken every now and then. And then so then I tried to eat it the next day. Boy, that rice was translucent. You hear me? You can see right through that motherfucker. I said, never again. And I don't fuck with their rice, though. Like, when I go to the restaurant, I get some vegetables or something, but I ain't fucking with the rice, though. But I'm not a big Chinese food eating motherfucker want to go to their restaurants anyway, though. Like, the only thing I go to the Chinese store for is I buy razor blades. I like a straight razor. I like to, when I shave myself, I like to do the straight razor and line myself up. So that's the only, you know, like, saying we gonna boycott Asians was like, okay, and like, I don't fuck with them anyway. You know what I'm saying? I need to boycott goddamn everybody. You know, gas about to go back up, I heard. You know what I'm saying? So
it has been.
You might not, but I'm trying to tell you, there are a lot of us who spend a lot of money in Asian beauty supply stores and in Chinese or Asian restaurants. I'm telling you, we used to call in to Yaya like quick with the.
Oh, Yaya, boy, I'm surprised you ain't dead, my nigga. I ate some Yayas one time, and damn, they had to be airlifted to the motherfucking hospital, boy. I don't fuck with no Yayas. The only place I go fuck with some Chinese food at is on 51st and Burlock. I don't fuck with no motherfucking Yayas, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you know,
I might
hey,
get decent pho. I don't know if you ever had no pho. That shit all right there. I wish the Cigarettes was still out.
I love pho. You are correct. Pho is delicious.
That nigga said pho.
Pho is delicious. I love pho. It is very.
Hey, what was the name of that Chinese? What was the name of that Chinese restaurant on Liz back in the day? I can't think it. Was it Sibis?
The Joy.
You remember the one? I fuck with. Ooh, wow, what they had? Real Chinese chicken, fat ass pineapple chunk. This Chinese chicken, LaJoy.
You know, Wong's Walk was a descendant. That restaurant, it's the same family. Wong's Walk. The
man, on my mama, I ain't like it was. Listen, it was a motherfucking Wong's Walk. I swear to God. When I'd be like, I don't want him to make my food. He had them bumps and shit in the back of his head. I'm like, hell no, I don't want bro to touch my shit. I don't know if them was warts or whatever, but he had some serious shit going on his neck. I'm talking about it was vicious. Like, I'm talking about like that shit seemed like he shouldn't have been working in that motherfucker on my mama. I'd be like, I don't even want dude to make my shit though. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want.
This shit
I don't though. You know.
Let me go to this chat room. I see Kerry Walker Jones.
You ain't going to the chat again, is it?
Yes. That's why I said let me go to the chat room. Kerry Walker Jones said they don't wash them in the bathtub. LOL.
She talking about the greens.
Greens. Kamala said she in the bath. Got them in the bathtub. Yeah. Tony on the way said, yeah, my mom used to add bacon to her cabbage, and I haven't found it that way.
My wife mom does too.
My wife does that when she made cabbage, right? And that's how she learned from her mother. Let me go. What else we got here? Says, I still haven't found a sweet potato pie like my grandma. And ENC, he said K.O. Butler. I don't know.
Yeah, I was sending that to my guy. He's a prize fighter. He loved Trump, so I just wanted him to tune in.
Oh, Tony on the way said Wong Walk on 3rd used to be a spot. Used to be the spot a long time ago. I mean, we used to Wong's Walk. I'll tell you another. If you grew up on Capitol, I grew up on Capitol Drive, man. We used to go to what we call Silver Dragon, right on the corner of Fond du Lac and Capitol. Silver Dragon for years was the spot where everybody in that area went for Chinese food. and it was good.
Who was the one on Lisbon, man? I'm trying to figure it out because it was one on Lisbon
LaJoy.
right off of LaJoy. Yeah,
LaJoy. Yeah, and
you know, I don't know. I was kind of iffy about that. You know what I'm saying? It was all right sometimes, and sometimes it just wasn't that great.
well, it's like I said, his children are the ones who did Wong's Walk, and really we got on Wong's Walk because Wong's Walk was in the mall, so that's where they really started at. It wasn't hardly no brick and mortars. It was very few. Most of the time, you went to Capitol Court or Northridge or something like that. Wong's Walk the line was long. People used to go there. I used to work in Northridge, and that's where I ate lunch at most of the time was Wong's Walk, and send me to the bathroom a lot, but Kerry Walker said LaJoy's on North. Okay, I'm talking about LaJoy's. They saying on Lisbon. I don't know what Chinese restaurants on Lisbon.
Yeah, it was on North. Well, it might have been on North. My bad, man.
Hey, KB, I want to throw something out there, man. Hey, August 1st, y'all, 2026 at 1:00 p.m. My cousin is part of a Welcome to Black Hollywood karaoke experience. I posted a lot of his stuff over the years. My cousin is the one. He was actually part of the Infinity Wars, like the cinematography and stuff like that. His name is Calvin Greer, but they're doing something. It is going to be, it's called the Black Arts Film Festival Milwaukee. It's going to be at the Summerfest grounds, and that is August 1st. He will be with Jamal Woolard. I guess he played Biggie and Notorious. Big Steve-O Love, and y'all might have y'all feelings or whatever. Benzino gonna be there. My cousin know him too, and he's also friends with a dude named Anthony Mackie. I believe that he played Tupac and some shit. Yeah, so y'all go check him out. I'm gonna post it again on my page. Yeah, my cousin been in film for a long time now. His name is Calvin Greer, man. He got awards. I post his pictures and shit all the time. He's a very humble dude, but he's from Milwaukee. Y'all go out and support it, man, because they're answering questions about people. If you want to be content creators, if it's things that you guys want to do, just go out and support. So I just wanted to add that.
So we were all right. She said, I was just going to say this. Kerry Walker said,
Lisbon and North.
It's on the corner of Lisbon and North, right? That's where LaJoy was. So yeah, it was Lisbon and North. Now I seen a mention of this, and I don't know if this is true. Is Carmelo Anthony getting another trial because of some video that was released showing that he was being assaulted by a group of kids? Is this true, or is this just people with clickbait?
This is the thing, man. I heard about this shit when it first happened. Remember when we were talking about it, KB, and I kept saying I don't know a lot about it. I talked to my lawyer, and because he a weirdo, he just followed everything that's legal online, right? So he was telling me. He said, Ian, as of right now, Carmelo looked like he overreacted. He said, but there is a video, and we'll see what happens when the video comes out. He said, from what I've heard, he said it was damning. Yeah, he said the video might set him free.
Okay.
Well, not only that, man, you got several people that got reprimanded. The judge got reprimanded, the DA and the DA.
I saw all of that shit, bro. That was disturbing.
Somebody got fired. So I wouldn't put it past him that he's gonna get another trial.
The thing
there's just too much out there.
From everything I've researched and everything that I've seen personally, all bullshit aside, y'all can quote me 7/22/26 at 7:19 in Arizona, 9:19 your time. He's going to fucking walk because I heard because the one thing I said is, as far as him being pushed. To stab somebody is not a warranted reaction. I said if he couldn't leave and was trying to leave and he's stabbing some people, that's a warranted response. If on that video, and this is my lawyer's exact words, if on that video that young man can't leave, their case is fucked. It's over. He's going to walk the same day. Yeah. And if that video says that or shows that, it's a wrap, bro. Over.
The video the video that I seen, it actually showed him getting jumped, man. It was about 4 people that took their turn. As a matter of fact,
exactly. That's a problem.
That's a lie. He was the first one to swing. You know what I'm saying? So it was. He's gonna get another trial, man. They did their best to try to cover that shit up.
It sounds like he might get off, bro.
They didn't publicize it. They wouldn't let. No cameras in there. They wouldn't. We ain't letting that shit happen nowadays, man. And then on top of that, since that happened, I hate to say it, but it's been a lot of white folk get there, and they've been getting they wings. Motherfuckers ain't taking the shit no more. You know what I'm saying? That's just what
they
it is.
tried to railroad dude, and a whole bunch of motherfuckers got involved. Like I'm talking about, like rappers, Boosie, T.I. That's the shit I be talking about. Help out people.
He got a whole new. Yeah, he got a whole new. He got a whole new lawyer.
He had a white jury before or some shit. I was shocked. I'm like, what?
And if they smart, they would move it out of that whatever that county is, because it's already proven that they're not going to be fair.
Dude, you can't get tried twice for murder. Double jeopardy is real. The fact that they're talking about this shows that trial was probably fucking corrupted, and he's probably going to walk on a fucking technicality, bro. He's walking, I'm sure.
Carrie Walker says they are working on getting rid of the judge. Shout out to Crystal West. I think she says justified. She said yes, it's going to get a new trial. Tony on the way said
walk.
These stories are proof that we are super doomed. Okay.
Damn, Tony, you the Buddha reality.
Crystal West says perceived threat, possible perceived threat. Okay. Shout out to you, Crystal. Thanks for tuning in. It's the first time you ever commented that I can remember. Yeah, Mama Jenkins said those motherfuckers were some gangster ass white boys, but they got duped.
I love that.
Crystal says stand up for justice. Absolutely.
I love that.
Yes. Now y'all see down in Chicago, the latest development is that there's another Walgreens, a large Walgreens closing down there in Chicago. And they said the reason it's in the inner city. It's in the inner city, and they said the reason why it's closing is because they've lost over $1 million to theft and other public safety and violent incidents, right?
All right.
So here we go again. People are saying this is a corporate abandonment, but my thing to my people is this. Sometimes, in some cases, in some places, y'all need to sit y'all ass down, right? Like we know, you can see it every day, because one thing about the new black media, this social media, this internet stuff, is people got cameras on their phones. You see us acting an ass in a variety of places. So if you're in the store, if I walk in the store and I'm in there with my kids and I come in there to grab something really quick, and y'all in there fighting, or somebody in the parking lot, or you got to worry about getting robbed, or what Young Miami, where the boosters at, and all this causes businesses to abandon our community
quickly.
A matter of fact, one of the reasons that they give for the vacant commercial property that's too dominant in the city of Milwaukee right now, because we have some thoroughfares. You got some Burleigh, some North Avenue, some Center. You got some streets like this where there's just acres and acres and miles of vacant commercial properties that at one point operated businesses, from machine shops to auto shops to beauty salons to whatever. And the reason people say it's vacant is because the area around it is too dangerous. So they're worried about how can I put my money in here, and the crime is so high. Now, I remember when I was an ad exec for Clear Channel Radio, and I would be on Martin Luther King, and I would be going from business to business to business, and I was trying to get all these entrepreneurs to invest in advertising on the station. And there was one clothing store in particular. It was an African gentleman who owned it, and his thing was, I'm going to have to. I went to his store, but I saw that the front window had been smashed, and then the next time I went, the door had been kicked in, and the police were leaving. And he's like, this is like the 7th time I've been burglarized, and each time, my insurance, I got insurance, but my premium goes up. So I'm getting to the point now where I can't afford insurance anymore. So it's becoming not worth my while to keep reinvesting in my business because it keeps on getting burglarized. Now, once again, I know this ain't everybody, and I know that this is people in the hood who say, man, I don't do that. But I want people to understand the way we behave and conduct ourselves in our community has a lot to do with the investment in our community. So if we're wilding out in the community, and I also put this on the Milwaukee Police Department saying, hey, we're 200 officers short. If you 200 officers short, and I know that story is about Chicago, but I talked about it because we had a similar thing here in Milwaukee with the Walgreens on North Avenue. in which like one of the biggest things, and we look at why Walmart left, and they said, well, theft and crime. But I also say the city has a duty because we are taxpayers. This city has a duty to try and make something safe for people. So it ain't enough for me to just scold the people in the community. I'm gonna say to our police, listen, when are you gonna get yourself together? If you got, NPS got a $1.5 billion budget, the police department has a $500 million budget. What in the hell are we getting for our money if you cannot keep the city safe? If you can't keep business owners safe, if you can't keep things secure,
Yep.
then it's time for us to sit down and have a conversation about what's really going on in this city. And our local leaders are directly. I know they'll pass the buck because we keep saying, well, we need an anti-violence initiative. Yeah, well, that means we need more effective community policing as well. But they say, hey, we ain't got enough people. Leave us out of this shit. And we say, okay. And then we start blaming each other again. So, that story in Chicago is sad because here's a loss of jobs. Here's probably elderly people in the community who depend on going to those Walgreens for their medication. Now they got to go somewhere else. It's just like when we had Capitol Court.
Yep.
We had a mall sitting right in the middle of the city that we could go to, that we could patronize ourselves in, right? And, it went down the way it went down. There was a lot of things going on. Jesse Anderson not withholding. But all of a sudden the mall is gone now. And the Walmart is gone. And it's an economic black hole where we got to go to shop at. Glendale, Wauwatosa, Brookfield. We got to take our money outside the city and spend with other people. And these are
Jesse Anderson was Northridge.
Okay. But then there's still people who don't, there's still people, those people in these suburbs don't even want us out there. So, Jesse Anderson killed his wife in Northridge, but he bought the hat from Capitol Court, I thought he went in there and tried to buy the hat from the brother in Capitol Court and then took the hat and threw it down at Northridge. That's why I referenced it. I thought that's why that's why I referenced it. I might be wrong. Shit, I've been wrong before. Gary says that boy that was falsely accused of vehicular homicide, he was headed for the NFL but committed suicide.
Oh, that's
horrible. Yeah, I seen that case too. That was down. Was that LSU? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he killed himself. He said he did and he didn't do it. She said Karen Lacey, they found out the cop coached the lady that actually caused the accident to frame him.
Oh.
Mama Jenkins said, hell, every damn thing is locked up. Just yesterday at Meyer, the cops had 3 persons of color out there for stealing, and the clerk said one of them had a food stamp card. So I said, why are they stealing? Yeah, I mean, it's once again poverty, man. People trying to figure out a way to do it. Chris Perez said, and MLK Walgreens. Okay, same difference. Same difference.
Yep, for sure.
Earl Henning said, who wants to be the police in Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Well, you know what? Some we can't complain if, it might be something we need to encourage.
Man, you know what the problem is too, Kev? The motherfucking police just as corrupt as the motherfucking niggas on the motherfucking, and then they got operations that they running on the motherfucking north side. Hence the motherfucking hot spot. The fuck out of here.
Well,
everybody don't know all faith in the police.
We always talk about the need to have police that are from the community, though, because the truth of the matter is, since your boy Skippy Walker lifted the residence requirement, you're gonna get a lot of white police officers who are not from this community. And if I was them, when I came down in here and dealt with some of the shit that goes on, I'd be terrified too. Like, boy, you motherfuckers is crazy. So
there's a motherfucker.
So we do need more brothers from the community. But I understand there's a stigma. We don't, because our relationship with law enforcement is very, very stressful and has always been very tenuous, right? I get that. But at the same time, changes have to be made in a bunch of different areas. And I think that's one of the areas. Now, my ass is too old now, so I can't go to no police academy anyway. And I'm
going to be honest with you, Kev.
I didn't really have a desire to do so back then. But I'm just saying maybe that's something that young men should start looking into, as opposed to being on the other side of the law, going up north, helping to keep these white, as Earl called them, white constant residents rich. So maybe we change our way of thinking.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, they done told you, man. They not there to protect you. They there to protect real estate. That's really not their job.
That's really it. Yeah,
that's just what they gonna do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and until we get some people that can actually protect the neighborhood and we get our shit together. I mean, like we said, we got a lot of micro issues, that fucks us up. And you got people at the top that's sucking the money out there, sucking the money out of the community. And it just leaves us at a loss.
Well, poverty,
and why they don't
poverty makes everybody wealthy except for the poor people. Because you think about the crime, when the minute a youngster commits a crime, the tab starts running up, right? From the time they get arrested to the time they get to the juvenile center, when they go to court and they get case workers and they get all kinds of stuff. I've worked for the juvenile justice system, so I know it's a bunch of people getting paychecks off of youngsters who stealing cars or who committing crime. So there's industries that have been established based on the backs of black crime and black criminals, like our Department of Corrections up north, that keeps them floating, right? They'd rather see us behind a fence or behind a wall than see us on a pedestal or a podium talking about I'm your new governor. The hell you preach. John Locke is in the chat room. He said, great show. ENC Jordan is on his best behavior tonight. Glad and him are civil tonight.
I'm gonna fire his ass for that shit. Don't be texting that shit, motherfucker.
It's designed that way. Shout out to Crystal West. She said, no, you're right. And she said, facts. Earl in the chat room, he says they want us black people in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, up north in jail.
True. True that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way things have been. That's why I say, when you look, you can't really look to Madison to do anything positive for Milwaukee because it's a conflict of interest. Because what happens if that prison population goes down by 15 to 20%? Now you got mass layoffs up there in Black River Falls and all these places, and that's just going to start to look like the north side. The same way our industrial complex collapsed and our city went to hell in a handbasket, if the prison system collapses or experiences a downturn in population, that's what's going to happen to a lot of these northern Wisconsin towns, and they don't want that. So, you say, well, we ain't really trying to help Milwaukee. We don't want these Negroes to advance too much. That's why it's on us to do it. That's why we can't really depend on help from them to do it.
Well, at this point, the problem they're having right now is they're starting to get, because a lot of niggas don't want to deal with that shit that's going on. So now we moving out to their areas, and they ain't happy about it. So that's just what it's gonna be. I mean, we are decent people too. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to deal with that shit. Our kids don't want to be in the middle of that shit. And so now we out in fucking Grafton and all these weird ass places that we've never seen black people in before.
Carrie Walker, I did not see this. She said, you see them Argentina fans try to call the Atlanta police on niggas and they got their ass whooped and arrested. I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
I wish I had it. I can't stand them motherfuckers.
Crystal says sometimes you got to arrest your own cousins, brothers, and mothers-in-laws. Now this is Mama Jenkins, y'all. She said the cops are the biggest gang out here. They have a history of bad behavior, and they got a legal gun. Okay. Well, we know in the black community, it's been some tragedy, right? We know it's been some shit going on amongst cops in the black community forever. Like that has always been an issue. And that's why a lot of people, that's why a lot of black people don't. That's why when you talk about cooperation, and in Milwaukee, they've shown that they won't even protect people who are helping them. Like they say, we need y'all help. Yeah, but you ain't gonna start. What was it about 3 years ago? We had a brother on here whose mom had gone to the police and talked about witnessing some shootings in the neighborhood, and she had, basically talked to the police. Well, the police didn't provide any protection. These youngsters were shooting up his mama's house. He was on the show trying to get he called into the show trying to get some help because his mother they had to leave their home because the house was constantly getting shot up because the youngsters in the neighborhood said, oh, they snitches. So, they don't even they don't do a good job of protecting people. Crystal West said, true facts. I got to get back to work and enjoy listening to you. We'll pick back up again. Thank you for tuning in, Crystal. Appreciate you being here. I always appreciate when we get somebody new. Tell a friend about the show. Mondays and Wednesdays.
I like Crystal. I'm going to have to go her inbox. Hey, Crystal.
Hold on. Let me read the rest of her comments before you go to trying to flirt with her. And we got some few great men that are going to be around in the community trying to make a difference as well as women by design. thank you. What I was trying to say before Dion tried to get at you was I appreciate when somebody is tuning in to the show because we want to increase the range of the show. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Hopefully you'll join us and join in the conversation. Hit the line.
Hey, KB. Ian was already on the page. I'm just saying.
Wow. Boy, y'all good Lord.
give us the
Gary Walker said Racine is a dump now.
No fear too, keeping it 100.
She said,
she ain't that great either.
Mama Jenkins said the cop killed a person today in Madison. His taser, Gail. I think she means his taser. I don't know what she's saying. His taser, Gail. So the other bastard shot and killed him. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes people be trying to type.
She probably saying his taser failed. You know, it's saying that failed.
I don't know shit. I don't make no assumptions on what somebody's saying. I read what's up here. What are you talking about? Sharita said, my friends and family, hey friends and family, my fault. Love y'all. What's up, Sharita? Crystal says she'll tune in again. Appreciate you, Crystal. But yeah, so listen, I think it's important here. The conversation goes into what do we do for ourselves? What in the world is that noise?
The breathing. It sounds like somebody looking at Crystal picture, excited. Calm down.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Mama Gina said fail. Okay, Mama. Thank you for clearing that up. I make no assumptions. She said I will also share it on my page, on a Manian Dominican Center page as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please share the show. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But I think the most important thing here is what are we willing to do for ourselves? What are we willing to do for ourselves as opposed to what we expect somebody to do for us, right? Like we keep saying we want these jobs. We keep saying we want these opportunities, but are we taking advantage of the opportunities that are here? Sometimes you got to come in and you got to eat shit out of spoon and you got to work at the bottom to work your way up to the top. I know a lot of people want instant gratification. I understand that. Like nobody wants to work at the bottom of the totem pole, but sometimes that's what you got to do because you have to take a look and see what is your actual skill set. Do you have certifications? Do you have education? Do you have work
licenses?
Do you have any of these things? What have you done to make yourself more attractive as a candidate for a job? You know, and so because I'll tell you this, I haven't loved every job I've had. As a matter of fact, a lot of the jobs I've had, I did not like. And there were a lot of them that I worked because I'm like, listen, I have a family. I have children that I was raising and I need to stay responsible. So I still went to work. But it wasn't because I loved what I was doing. So a lot of us got to get down to that as opposed to I want to come in and be CEO tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. I want a job making $50 an hour. You don't have $50 an hour qualifications. Or there are programs, like I talk about this all the time when I was working at MATC. We had the welding program, and we made it so youngsters could attend downtown at the downtown campus for free. Well, I can tell you the enrollment on the program was so low that they took it from downtown and moved it to the south side. So
that's crazy.
Did they even know about it though? A lot of times, it's just a lot of people don't know about it, Ken.
Yeah, but I was about to say that. I agree.
Well, the information was out there as far as them promoting it, but also, are you looking? Like it ain't always about.
They don't be the KB. They don't be looking. They don't be looking. I know this for a fact,
right?
They
because
not.
Let's be honest. A lot of people become disillusioned with what's going on in our city to the point where they've been told no so many times that they say, "Fuck it, I give up. I'm just gonna do what I can to get what I can." You know what I mean? And I understand that because it can be frustrating. But we got to really understand that we are a people who, one thing that we have in this, we've shown in this country to have that a lot of other people don't have, and I think that this is a misunderstanding about us, is we are masters of perseverance. Our people have persevered through some of the most negative conditions that you could possibly place on the backs of some people. So a lot of times we got to learn how to persevere, right? Because they say it's going to get greater later. Some of us just say, you know what? If it ain't coming fast, I don't want it. I'm not willing. I'm not willing to stay in here and keep struggling because struggle hurts, right? It's tough. So once again, that question is, and so we talked about sympathy. What do we want from our elected officials? Do you want sympathy or do you want empathy, right? Or do you just want opportunity? And if the opportunities are there, are we going to take advantage of them? Because if they built a huge factory right now, right on the northwest side of Milwaukee, and said, yo, it's jobs here for $25 an hour, but you're going to have to work 8-hour shifts. You're going to have to be at work every day. You're going to have to be on time. You got to be engaged in your job. How many of us are going to go out there and apply before they start hiring all the white people from the surrounding suburbs to say, hey, we tried.
They ain't gonna hire them. They're gonna be hiring immigrants. So that's what we got to worry about.
Okay. Well, if that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, if it's a competition, let's compete. That's all I'm saying. Like, if the immigrants...
I get it, but I mean, like I said, man, the big thing with us, man, is we, like I said, a lot of us have been to college, Kev, and they get out of college and they're like, man, I got an education. I did this just because I didn't want to work like that. But then I get it. But really, in all actuality, the trades is where it's at, man. The trades is where it's at right now.
The trades is exactly where it's at.
$100,000. You know what I'm saying?
But I would tell people who go to college this, and I tell any youngster getting out of college this, you're gonna have to work that degree. That degree ain't gonna work you. It's not something where you say, I got it. Look, y'all, I got a degree, and jobs line up at your door. You are going to have to work that degree. Most people who go to college and take a major and get a degree are not working in the field that they study.
Nah, it don't work like that.
You got to get out here and you have to work your degree. I went to school for radio and television. That was my undergrad. That's what I got a bachelor's degree in. Speech communication, radio, and television. My first job out of college was working in a cell phone store in Northridge. And I ended up teaching school for MPS. I couldn't get a break and still can't get a break on terrestrial radio in Milwaukee. And I got this degree. So I had to learn how to work the degree and use it to my advantage and say, hey, if there's a college degree required for the job, I'm going to apply for it. And then I'm going to let my experience speak for itself.
Oh, my fault, KB. I was going to say, it's funny you saying that because, like, I'll tell anybody in a minute, motherfuckers need to go into these trades. Motherfuckers need to get CDLs. And the reason I'm talking about it, I can't go into detail because I'm doing some shit for my own personal business. But trust me when I tell you, like today I had a meeting that went very well in regard to my business and what I need to expand my business to take it to a level that I've been trying to take it to. Motherfuckers better start getting some CDLs and transporting shit because that ain't going nowhere. No matter anything else, that's not going anywhere. And that's kind of what I'm looking to do, because if I can get to the point with what I'm doing with my LLC to expand to transportation, it's a wrap. And if I can get to the point within the next 5-10 years to where, let's just say hypothetically or whatever, God willing, I could be worth 7-8 figures, dude.
I would say, well, let's just maintain flexibility. Like, so
yes,
let's not pigeonhole ourselves. Like, there's a lot of money in the trades, but there's still a need for accountants. There's still a need for doctors. There's still a need for social workers. There's still a need for school teachers. There's room for everybody. Okay. The one thing you can't do is think because I got a degree, I'm about to be rich. That's not how this works.
That ain't how that shit works.
Be willing to be flexible, and you got to be willing to work. I think the willingness is the main thing that we look at now, as opposed to seeking some instant gratification to say, I'm gonna sell some dope because I can become a millionaire that way. Well, you're gonna spend about 10-15 years on top getting money, and then you spend the rest of your life talking about, I used to have plenty of money, and you'll never see that money again. So I mean,
get money.
How many dudes in our neighborhood? How many dudes in our neighborhood do we look at right now? And this is just me, because I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, where I could say, man, I remember dude was rich than a mug, and I know that brother remembers he was rich at one point. But now, a lot of times, that's all it was. He used to be rich. He went and done all his time, went to the penitentiary and worked for 75 cents a day, and now his ass is back at home doing something demeaning, if doing anything. So don't throw rocks at the penitentiary. Let's just get down to business off top. A 50% truancy rate in Milwaukee Public Schools shows you where we're going to sit in this workforce over the next 20, 30 years.
Yes, sir.
If 50% of the children don't attend free public school, we in trouble. So what we got to do is, as my man said, we got to collectivize. We got to get together and circle the wagons. And I say that's why the delineation movement is so important, because it's time for us to self-identify. And if I say us and you say I'm with you, we together, then I say, okay, well, let's pool our resources and empower each other. That's how you get up. That's how you get up off your knees. So that's something that we have to do, right? And so that's just what needs. I don't want to discourage anybody if they say I have a dream. I always wanted to go to college. I wanted to go to a liberal arts university and get a degree in something. Go and do it, because that pursuit of knowledge is going to open you up. It's going to open, no, like pause, as they say. It's going to open you up to new experiences, right? Because if you're a person who loves to learn, then you don't never know what information you're going to stumble across that's going to have you say, you know what?
Correct.
This is what I want to do. And that's normally what college is all about. I love it when people say, oh, I forgot, Kev, you went to college, so you smart. I was smart before I went to college. Okay. I wasn't dumb when I got there. And then when 4 years later, I came out and I was a scholar. I was smart when I went there. That's why I went there. I wanted to expand my knowledge base. And I went and I learned about a bunch of different stuff and a bunch of different ways to live your life. And it got me out the ghetto. So that was the reward that I got from it. It has not made me wealthy, has not made me rich, but it did open my mind up to being able to experience different things and be flexible. Kerry Walker Jones says Trump is trying to cut college funding and turn into trades in high school. She said anything being taught in college can be trained on the job, except for the experience of learning how to have relationships with people and how to survive on your own when you've been under mama and daddy's wing forever. When you go off to school and you become fake adult and you learn how to live on your own, that's invaluable. She said in California, their LPNs were trained at one time. Okay. No, I'm saying you go to college, man, you fake broke. You don't got no money, but you live and you might have an apartment, you and your roommates, y'all learning how to food. You learn how to feed yourself. You got to get your ass out of bed and go to college. Yeah, you got to learn how to get out of bed and go to class. It's equivalent to saying I'm going to get up and go to work. It's equivalent to saying I need to be able to stretch $50 for this whole week so I can eat. Or I need to learn how to budget my little money I got left till I can get to the end of the semester or whatever. I learned this from my mom, but when I was in college, I could go in a grocery store, and if I had $35, I can get enough food to last me until a week or 2 weeks, until I had some other money coming, until my mama said, oh, I'll send you some money, but I can't send it to you till next week. Don't worry about it, mama. Don't worry about it. I got $40. I'm about to go in here. I know how to budget. I know how to get enough food. So
you can't do that right now.
Ramen noodles, yes, you can.
Well, yeah, you can go and
man, I'm motherfucker eating that ramen
$40
y'all blood pressure finna be high in the motherfucker.
But if you poor and you don't have no money, you gotta do it.
You ain't gonna be eating healthy, but you're gonna be full. And oatmeal beat no meal. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, dude.
I can respect that.
You know what, Kev? I'm gonna piggyback off what you said, because man, I mean, it's just like now, man. I've been in my field for 20, damn near 30 years, man. And not that I'm bored, but I find other areas to be interesting. Especially when it comes to engineering, just knowing how to do this. Going on a computer and using these different programs to design a crib and all that. Man, I mean, at this point, I've been thinking about designing cars and all that, auto body design. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, you should just never be satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
I think once again,
I'm about to go back to school in January myself.
I think you got to be open. That's the main thing, is you have to be open, man. And a lot of us pigeonhole ourselves because we don't understand that you can do pretty much anything you set your mind to doing, but you got to set your mind to do something, right? Like you got to be in it to win it. So a lot of us we pretty much box ourselves in, and then you mess around on the streets, you get that F behind your name, and it's harder for you to take advantage of opportunities to better yourself. So once again, it's more or less about what you want to do for yourself versus what you expect the powers that be to do for you. You know what I'm saying? So she said, this is Kerry Walker. She said, I'm just saying all of that debt for something that is hands-on, teachable with pay. Yeah, some of it is. Some of it is. Some of it's not. I mean, I looked at the student loans as an investment into myself. Because I have people who tell me I wouldn't borrow no money to go to school, but you would go borrow some money to buy a car or buy a house or something like that, or you got
in a millisecond, bro. In a millisecond,
credit cards or some shit like that, or you got a high interest loan for some bullshit, or auto pay loan. Or I looked at it as I'm investing in myself because I knew, and I was told by my parents a bunch of times, you better learn how to take care of yourself because we're not going to be here to do so, and we don't have money to leave you like that. Now, both of my parents are deceased, and it couldn't be more relevant or true than now, right? Like they were telling me the truth. I needed to figure out a way to make sure that I could always take care of myself. And I went to school and I said, well, if they ain't got the money, I'll just borrow the money. It's for me anyways, right? Like, it's not like, it was for somebody else. And believe me, that money was spent well for me. Any money that I borrowed, because most of the time my football scholarship and my grants covered what I needed. And I just didn't want to work a job because I'm like, I'm not going to be working at McDonald's while I'm going to school. And then I got to go try to lift weights and all this kind of shit. So that money spent well. I lived a very, I lived a very nice lifestyle off a lot of that money. So, and as long as I owe you, you'll never be broke. So if I don't ever get over and get a job because of my degree where I'm making X amount of money, I'll just die with that debt. Oh Lord, do you want to die with some debt? Most of us are going to die with some debt. So it's just
hell yeah.
Just
all of us down there.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Kev. And this is what I did. It's some dirty shit, but we have to understand the economy and economics too. Because at the end of the day, I ran up like fucking $75,000 worth of loans, and I put that shit on the credit card and filed bankruptcy. Man, I ain't pay that shit back. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump can do what I could do, but just understand how to do shit. Because these rich people, it's all about knowing the loopholes and how to do things. Get the tax breaks and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's just money. At the end of the day, everybody else doing it. So let's figure that shit out. But at the end of the day, you figure you got a skill.
Sometimes
they ain't gonna tell you that shit.
Sometimes the benefit of going to school, and I can tell you this is one that was for me for sure. I needed to get the hell off the north side for a minute. I needed a break. The ghetto, Master P said, the ghetto was trying to kill me. I needed to get away from the hood. I needed to go see a different way to live. It wasn't until I lived in North Dakota that I would lay in the bed at night and say, I am totally amazed because I don't hear any sirens. I was so used to living in the city, sirens and chaos and confusion. I lived right off Capitol Drive, so it was going down all night long. Just walking from my house to the store, what you encountered just on that little trek. I needed to get away from the hood. I needed to get and see that there's a whole other way to live your life, black man. You ain't got to be trapped into this street jungle. So that's the benefit a lot of time of kids being able to go off to school and say, you know what? It's so much more out here for me to see other than just the bricks and the concrete. Even though we love it, it was just, it's just more out there for people to see. That's why I encourage young people to go off to school, man. Try yourself. Give yourself a chance. Get out there and figure some of this stuff out.
Best advice ever, bro. So many people are so scared to actually go out of state and stuff like that. They really should. Like, my daughter is going to school out of Wisconsin, so I'm happy for that.
Right. I mean, I did too. And I think it was
very happy, actually.
My daughter and my son went out of Wisconsin too.
Good.
My daughter still hasn't returned. So
she'll never come back except to visit y'all.
Right. He's like, nah, Dad, I'm cool on the millie. So
she said the millie.
One more thing, Kev. I mean, we really got to talk about this competing thing, man, because that's what's really hurting us, man. And this is going on in families, man. I just had this situation happen the last week, man, where a relative had passed away, and basically, the assets started, and it went into a family uproar, man. And dude, money can be the root of all evil, man. You just seen everybody fly their own separate way. Everybody angry, you know what I'm saying? Because people haven't sat down and did their will, and created a certain lane for everybody to get their certain amount of whatever they're gonna get. And right now, man, it's so out of control. So I'm like, dude, I don't even think they love each other, man. So that's another thing, man.
I just want to go to Mama Jenkins because she said, KB, you didn't hear shit. My brother was there way before you, and it was lily white, and the bird was the only noise you heard. Now, Mama Jenkins' older brother went to the school that I went to in North Dakota in the 70s. I believe it was the early 70s. So she's right.
Way worse.
Way before I did, right? And it was
way worse though, KB.
Super white people world when I was there. So I can only imagine what it was like then. But it was not early in the morning, man. You hear nothing, no siren, no nothing. And she's right about that bird, because I used to wonder, is this bird following me around? Because it seemed like he was always outside my window.
There was dozens of
whistling. And I'm looking out the window like, yo, where's the bird? Like, so yeah, it's a whole different shock, culture shock, just me, a whole different perspective, gave me a whole new look in terms of how I had perceived life up to that point. Because once again, my formative years from 85 to 95, going from 10 to 20, is during the crack epidemic. So at one point, that's all I knew was the dirty bricks. So to get out there and say, yo, this is shit,
different,
totally different. So, but then I looked around and seen that there was nobody out there who looked like me either. And so it taught me about the improprieties that they had over my community. And I was saying to myself, why can my community not function like this? And then I started, it forced me to study the institutionalized racism that had been implanted in our community that prevented that. So it gave me a whole other outlook. That's all I'm saying.
It's funny that you say that, because I was at a point in my life where my mom had she had got a will for me and everything else, because I was just wilding. But my cousin Calvin, he created a company called Greer Oaks. And I actually talked about his son, who's actually going to be at the Summerfest grounds. His name was Calvin Greer. He Palmer and Meineke is his house. He bought the biggest house over there, and it's actually a museum now. And my cousin, his wife, she still lives there. But long story short, he started taking me to art festivals and stuff like that. And I'm talking about I was like 17, 18. I'm out here. I'm trying to do my thing. I'm part of I'm part of a subculture or whatever at that point. And dog, man, he taking me to freaking Lily White, Minnesota, like northern Minnesota, to where he's selling his art. And then that's where I found out that all white people ain't bad. Because when I was younger, I used to be like, man, fuck all these motherfuckers. They hate us. They racist. My daddy was a Panther. I was looking at all this shit. They used to hang us from trees. But when he took me out there, it really changed my perspective. I'm like, okay, everybody ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to be black, but know that everybody ain't the same. So just, you know what I'm saying, use your intelligence and see that it's a whole world out here. So yeah, man, same kind of thing, dog. He was taking me to every art festival, and that's how I got into art and everything. That's how I met so many people and just made so many connections. Same thing, man. Like when you went to, you was in school in North Dakota.
My first year and a half, I went in Wapaton, North Dakota.
That's my goodness, brother. That is fucking different. Yes.
Yeah, a whole different, it's a whole different world.
And you'll never go again, but it did teach you a lot.
No, I will never, ever.
Cheers. No. God damn.
There's absolutely, when they put my football team that I was on, they put us in the Hall of Fame, and I wanted to go to the Hall of Fame ceremony.
I wouldn't know when either.
And I said, you know what? I told myself when I left there I was never coming back, so I didn't go. I
don't blame you.
I can look and see that we're in there, but I'm not. I didn't go. A lot of my teammates was, KB, why you ain't coming? Hey man,
why do you think I didn't go?
I'm cool, man. I used to tell them, because a lot of them were from the Twin Cities, so it wasn't that far off for them. But yo, I used to be like, man, I can't do this, y'all. I come from a city that's majority minority, so But I mean, it is what it is. Kerry Walker said, my grandma used to say, you got to get them kids off the block.
Yes, sir. Yes, you do.
Mama Jane said, do he own the house that was rent a room for?
Yes.
For C hours?
The house that Duke Ellington used to be at when he came to Milwaukee. One day on the show, I'll talk about that. His son ended up being a director, and his one of his cousins is the first female rapper to ever go solo rapper to ever go platinum, which is DeBrat. Oh yeah, our family is different, but yes, that's the house. Yes, it is. It's right there.
Look here, man. It's about to be 10 o'clock. This is Wednesday, so we won't be back on until Monday. Please share the show. I want y'all to keep y'all head on the swivel. Shout out to everybody who contributes to the platform, and I want to shout out those people who are listening and don't comment, because I do get a lot of people that tell me they listen to the show and they didn't comment, and I didn't know. I didn't know that they were listening, but shout out to you as well. There's hope for us as long as we can get our messages across in the correct way. So once again, I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. And I want you all to know that if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution to it, you're more than likely a coon. And you need to check us out on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard until we can get it right. Till then, Outlaws for life, man. Y'all be cool, man. FBAs, man. Let's do this. I'll see y'all Monday. Man. Peace and love.
Love y'all. All right, see you Monday. I'll text you for the week, KB. I'll text you all the time.